morning, evening, afternoon, or whenever the heck you're listening to this. Welcome back to this is a very special episode of Nerdin' Out. This is not a traditional episode where we talk about video games or movies or anything like that. We are nerding out about a very, I guess, a very masculine topic, I guess you could say. I
suppose so. Why do you gotta bring masculinity in this?
I don't know. People like to think of sports as a very masculine thing. I don't.
I mean, they think chess is a sport, and I don't think that's masculine at all.
I mean, it's not. Anyway, joining us today, I have David with me. Nathaniel is not with us.
I killed him. I said that last episode.
That's right. No, I thought we said that he didn't want to re-sign his contract.
Look, I have to have a cover story somehow.
Continuity, man.
Yeah,
continuity.
I'm just saying.
And yeah, so we have a very special sports episode today, and I have two of my very good friends joining us today. Matt is joining us again.
Hi,
from the
Final
Space
here.
episode. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then we have another friend of mine who's making his Nerdin' Out debut today, Tom.
Entering the ring.
How's it going?
How you doing, Tom?
Pretty good.
So, we're all here. We're all sports fans, and more specifically today, we're talking about the NFL and the NFL draft, free agency, all that stuff. The NFL draft is coming up at the end of April, which is just almost around the corner. It'll fly by like that. I know. So, yeah. So, what do we got on the slate today?
Well, I guess why don't we just start with which teams we're biased towards, just so we can get that out of the way.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. David, would you like to start that?
I'm an Eagles fan.
Really?
Because we are the best team ever.
Well, right now you are.
We are the best
team.
Just
won the Super Bowl. So.
Ever.
Ever. Final.
Ever. Period. There's no punctuation afterwards. It is the end of the sentence.
Can you at least admit that the Eagle fan base is like the douchiest fan base ever?
The fuck are you talking about?
Oh. Okay. Anyway, not including you. You're exempt from that because you're not.
No, yeah,
you're
no,
not a douche at all. No,
I've been an Eagles fan for a long time, and yeah, I know much of our fan base is like 99.9% douche, but I will be the 1%. I hope.
Okay.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
People don't like the 1%.
Now I am the 99%.
I guess so.
You are a douche after all. Okay.
Yeah.
So Matt, I see you're wearing a bunch of Houston stuff.
That obviously means he's a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Yeah, I've come decked out in all my stuff. Yeah, I've got my Astros hat on.
Yes.
Defending our World Series title now.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
And yeah, I'm a Texans fan, and there's hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel. With we've got Deshaun Watson now. We just signed Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm ready.
Right.
Yeah.
Ready. Yes, absolutely. Tom and I are in a bit of a pickle because growing up, we have both been Charger fans.
Such a shame.
It's such a shame, but I think even as the season was going on, I found myself cheering for them. I more support the players rather than the owner in the franchise. Like I can't stand Dean Spanos, but I love Rivers, I love Gordon, I love those guys. So I think I find myself still rooting for those guys. I think I still have a bias towards them. So I mean, what do you feel?
Yeah, I was rooting for Rivers, but really, right now, not a Charger fan, just a football fan.
Yeah, that's kind of where I stand too. It's just like I'm a football fan and I enjoy watching the games, but I can't really say I have a specific.
So I have a question for the former Chargers fans.
What's up?
When all of the players that you grew up knowing and loving are gone,
Ooh.
no connection left after that, or what do you think's going to happen?
Oh,
That's a
man.
good question.
I mean, I think what's going to end up happening for me is that I'm going to find players in college that I like and follow them and root for them wherever they go. Like, for example, Rashad Penny, whoever he gets drafted by, I'm probably going to root for that team just because I love him as a player. Or Saquon Barkley, wherever he ends up going, which we're going to get to that in a second, just where in our mock drafts and everything. But I think I'll just kind of root for college players that I know like on the team, and if one of them happens to land on the Chargers, I'll root for them. But yeah, that's a good question. I've been asked that before. It's like, what happens when all the players that you like, leave? It's like, I don't know. Yeah. I guess I'll just go back to being just a pure football fan with no real bias.
Yeah. The only constant is that you hate the New England Patriots, like every true football fan would.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So Tom, what about you? You can go ahead and answer that question.
An Aztec alum, so I'm gonna be following my Aztecs around. right now it's the Eagles and Falcons who have the most Aztecs in the league.
You
so
bet it is.
excited for Pumphrey to get his ring and excited to
Yeah,
see him
man.
play next year.
Yeah, I know, because he tore his ACL, right? And he was out for most of the season, which was a big
Yep.
bummer. But I think he'll be when he's healthy. I think he'll be a great addition to that team. I think he'll be good.
Yep.
Anyway, so
All right, is that everyone?
I think that's everyone.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
we touched on it.
I guess we should. What started our football experience? Did any of us play? Any of us? What derived the football love? It's not for
Well,
everybody.
Well,
But,
Matt,
what
I was
brought
gonna
us to
say
it?
age. I think experience. I think you should go first.
All right, we're doing seniority.
Seniority.
Great. So,
awesome.
I started. Well, I fell in love with football when I was probably about, I guess, 13. My dad went to the University of Oklahoma, and when I was 13, they won the national championship.
Neat.
And I had a cousin that played on that team. It was pretty neat, yeah. And so that kickstarted my football fandom journey, and I became a rabid, over-the-top OU fan, which I still am.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
ended
you
up-
were talking to me. It's funny how like going to school, being fans of all these players, and it's like you walk by them. It's like I know your birthday and where you went to high school.
Exactly.
It's,
like Sam
creepy.
Bradford held the door open for me. I was like, oh yeah, you weigh like 225 now. It was weird,
That's
but
creepy.
yeah. So and then I started playing football in 8th grade, and I played in high school. And there are things I miss about it. There are things I'm glad are over, but it was super fun, and I still love the game and love following it.
Yeah. Tom, what about you?
I think it really started just with my dad. He'd always watch Charger games, so we'd watch them together. And then we'd go out and just throw the football around for hours. And I think that's really where it started. And I love every sport known to man.
Mm.
This is true. Yeah, he's a true
But
connoisseur of sports.
But is ribbon twirling a sport? Can we have it in the Olympics? Should we have 3 hours dedicated to this sport? I use that with many quotation marks before and after.
I'm going to plead the fifth on this one.
You don't want people getting mad, and so it's like, no, ribbon twirling's a sport. Well, as for me, my mom actually got me into football, got me into sports. My dad was kind of very much a casual fan, whereas my mom, I would be in my room just minding my own business, and then I'd hear her screaming at the TV, and I would be like, hey, what's going on? So I go over there, and I see that she's screaming at some guys running on a field, and you know, one thing left to another, and then I just became a big fan. I didn't play football till I was in high school, and I played for most of the time I was in high school, and that's where I think my love was solidified, just by like playing the game and having a deeper understanding of it, and it's like you have a deeper love for it. So when you watch it, it's more than just like watching guys play a sport. It's you know, you see like the little things, and you say like, oh, he messed up, and his footing was wrong, that's why he got beat, kind of thing. So
Right.
it's fun watching after you've played it,
Right.
even just a little bit. Like I didn't play in college, but just watching it after having a little bit of knowledge of it is always fun. And I always like to think strategically about stuff, and it's like, oh, if I was in that situation, I would have done that differently. But
Right.
anyway,
Yeah.
what about you, David?
Mine, I don't know. I have a weird construed way of I ended up in football. It started with.
We got time, so go for it.
Okay. It all started. No.
In 1842.
My brothers. No, we had a friend across the street. He had a Nintendo 64, and he had NFL Blitz. And that game was fantastic because if you poked in the right combo, everyone's heads were gigantic. You played in fog that was thicker than your mom's mustache. You had no idea what you were going to end up with. And at the time, it was a fun game. And then, I was just like, oh, well, maybe I should start, following this. My dad was a Charger fan and a Redskins fan, and among other things. But I started to play football in middle school. I got injured, but I guess, I don't know. I guess that was the one that started it for me, and I think that's why I was an Eagles fan too.
How did you become an Eagles fan? If your dad was a Redskins and a Chargers fan, how did that happen?
I just picked it on NFL Blitz, and I was like, I like this Eagle thing. It looks good. And I always somehow beat my brothers with that, and I don't know why. So I was like, you know what? I think I'll pick this team, and just following it over a while, and Michael Vick's rise and fall from the Eagles, and And then the Chip Kelly era where things looked promising and
the
then
very
fell
brief
apart.
Chip Kelly era.
Yeah.
Jeez, that was very short-lived.
And the leave and return of Nick Foles, the triumphant phoenix that he is, the GOAT of every team ever. So, yeah, I guess that's what brought me to it.
Yeah,
But
you're not a real Eagles fan.
no.
at all.
No. I'm just, occasional watching, But
Such a casual fan.
that's one thing I'm pissed off about is over here on the West Coast, you don't get the regular games. It's only when you have like the Monday night, Thursday night football, Sunday night football that you occasionally see them.
I was gonna say
But-
it depends.
Yeah, during the day games over
I
there.
was gonna say they're usually if they're on Fox, they're usually on.
Yeah. I
But-
don't have cable. I don't have
Oh,
cable.
well, that's your first problem.
That's
right
my
there.
first problem. But
Anyway.
I guess it's that for me. But anyway,
You,
so
can
what is
always,
your
you can always get highlights on YouTube and stuff.
that I ended up doing that for years and years and years. I thank God for YouTube.
Right.
But I guess what's your favorite part about football? I mean, there's a lot to love about it,
Man,
but
I mean, when I played mostly defense. So I think my favorite part of football was getting that one clean hit where you didn't feel anything, but the other guy felt everything. Just getting him right in that sweet spot where it's just like you hear the crack of the plastic and then he's on the ground.
yeah,
And like,
you give him the Newton's cradle, as it were. You stop
Yeah.
moving. And
I think I used to talk a lot of trash.
I believe it. I completely believe it.
Like even my teammates were like, "Okay, dude, chill. Like you need to relax, man."
It's just like we haven't even started the game yet. You're yelling at the cheerleaders. Stop it.
you
Yeah.
you joke about that, but But I think overall, the idea behind like going crazy and like letting out all of your frustration and all of your which my fiance says is unhealthy, but
Your wife is always right, my friend.
she's not my wife yet.
Yet.
But
She will instantly become right.
Yeah.
yes. I mean, she's already always right, but
There you go.
I mean that in the best way possible, though. Yeah, it's just being someone that you're not for an hour and letting loose. I think
Yeah.
was my favorite part. But Matt, what about you? Because you played football, so
Right. Yeah, I love the strategy aspect of it and the mind games that coaches play each other, that
Yeah.
players play each other, and my favorite thing in football is watching a good run, a good. And it can be. It doesn't matter what kind of run. It can be a dude trucking 4 guys. It can be a guy making 8 guys miss because he's so elusive. But yeah, a good like 60-yard touchdown run where he just goes through guys or goes around guys. That's the most satisfying thing in the world for me to watch.
watching every block get picked up and like no one touches the running back as he just runs through the alley alone. That's like that's so satisfying.
I don't know what it is. It's just like one of those YouTube videos, those satisfying YouTube videos that you can click on. You're just like, oh yeah, why is this so? I don't know. It's one
It's
of those
oddly
weird
satisfying,
things.
but
Yeah.
I
Oddly
totally
satisfying.
get what you're talking about. Yeah, it hurts on the defensive side to watch that, but yes,
Yeah.
I do know that feeling. Yes. Tom, what about you? Is there a part that you enjoy the most?
So it has to be definitely strategy. I'm a big analytics guy. So I love that that's come into play.
It's like you just say statistics and you push up your glasses.
Yep.
I love me some statistics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You're the
love
place for it.
I love it. I think it's made the game evolve in a good way. And so I love the strategy.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's weird how. Just talking about this briefly, it's weird how, as we've seen the NFL grow over the last like 10 years, it's gone from. I remember in 2009, it was so pass heavy. In like the 2009 season, there was like 3 or 4 quarterbacks with like 4,500 passing yards plus. So, like there was like I think 2 or 3 quarterbacks with like 5,000 passing yards. And I remember like from between like 2009 and 2011, it was super pass heavy, and there was like receivers. There's like 2 receivers on a team with like 1,000 yards receiving, and it was super crazy. And then the numbers kind of died down after that. And it's weird how like we keep seeing a fluctuation of like pass heavy strategy, and then we see like a lot of run heavy strategy. It just depends on like the team that you're on, and I feel like each team doesn't really have like a true identity anymore. I feel like more teams are becoming more well balanced, and they're able to do multiple things, and I'm seeing this evolution slowly where it's like the Chargers, for example, like they have the ability to spread you out and just run spread all day. They could, but they also have the ability to run power ball, which I appreciate because it gets boring after a while just to see like a team spread it out and then just carve up a defense and then score 5 times in a row. So I think yeah, it's interesting just to see kind of like what Tom mentioned, just like the strategy and going back and forth, and it's been cool to watch the game evolve. So yeah.
Yeah, and I guess in a way, there's something for everybody. If someone likes seeing someone get flattened out, you got that. If you like to see the strategy of the coaches or even the strategy of the players, you got a little bit of that too.
Yeah.
And then if you like commercials, like the Cleveland Browns fans, you can enjoy.
That's the best part of Browns games.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of getting flattened, I saw this YouTube clip, and it was I can't remember the fullback's name. He's for the Bills, but it was a game against the Bengals, and he's blocking one guy, and then another guy just runs into his shoulder and gets pancaked. I think the fullback's name was DeMarco, and he's coming up to block this guy, but as he's going up to
Patrick DeMarco.
Thank you very much. As he's coming up to block him, his shoulder hits some other guy in the face. Like just the other guy gets flattened as he's going up to block the other guy. And it's just those little tiny things that go unnoticed.
Yeah.
I love watching those things.
And
it's so
especially,
funny.
it's fun to watch NFL and games when you have really heavy contact and watching someone who doesn't normally watch it just go, what? Why?
Yeah.
What? It's for a ball. I'm like, it's not just a ball.
It's not just a ball. It's the rock.
The ball, yeah.
This past season, I was watching a college game, and this defensive tackle had a free shot at the quarterback, and somebody blew a blocking assignment clearly, but he had a free shot at the quarterback has like a 5-step drop. He turns and looks and immediately just crumples to the ground so that he doesn't get smashed by this 350-pound behemoth. It was the most hilarious thing.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Jeez.
I guess as a defender, just like watching an offensive breakdown and just seeing a running like a linebacker free run up the middle is like the most fun thing to watch for me. It's just he just watching the middle linebacker's eyes light up and he just sprints through the hole. It's just like, yes. Oh my gosh, that's the best. Love that.
It's the best pastime is watching YouTube compilations of people getting flattened and
so good.
And quarterbacks turned into a pretzel by people who are 4 times their weight.
I think it was Steve Young. No.
What team?
It was the Titans. What was his name?
McNair.
No.
Moon.
No. It was Young. His last name was Young.
Vince
Young. There we go. I don't know why I said Steve Young. Vince Young. I couldn't think of his name. Vince Young. When they were playing against the Steelers, and like 3 Steelers had him, and then just like flipped him over. Do you guys remember that?
Oh,
I think
yeah,
Harrison
yeah.
had the last one. He grabbed his leg and just like flipped him over.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, oh come on, like that's a little excessive, don't you think?
Well, we could go over these all. We could
We
just
could.
scratch the episode. Just talk about our favorite favorite hits.
Favorite
that could be
hits,
the next
favorite plays.
episode.
We could, yeah, totally.
That's true. That's
So
true.
anyway, yes.
But,
continue.
all right, let's get to the main topic here. So the
Yes.
NFL offseason, it was pretty crazy in my opinion.
Started
so
out,
far,
like
and
with a bang. for
yeah.
sure.
So I guess we should talk about what we think, what our teams, what our home teams. I know 2 of us don't
You're
have
you're
one.
like looking at me.
Yeah.
So.
Cause like, all right, I have to reel with the audience here. So Evan kind of drafted. He like went on Facebook when he found out the Chargers were leaving. He was like, "Okay, sway me. Let me have your team." And I was just like, there's only one team. It's the Eagles. And he was just like, "I'm gonna pick the Cowboys." I'm like, "Why do you hate me? Why do you?"
It was a joke.
Why do
it
you?
was a joke.
But so I was always teasing him whenever the Eagles like this past season just got a step closer to the Super Bowl, and he was like one of the first people I texted when the Eagles
Yeah, I know.
destroyed the Patriots in the Super Bowl. It was revenge for 2005. But so I guess I mean for you, Evan, being a man who is now kind of open to the world of football.
Yes.
No team tying you down.
Yeah.
Can-
I say Tom and I are kind of in a similar situation,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So
yeah,
what drafts changes and off-season changes did you two feel were the most important to a team's
Oh, gosh.
structure, to what their future playoff, potential playoff might look like against other teams.
Well, I mean, Tom, would you like to start, or do you have any? Because I know you have like notes. You have a lot of notes that you.
I mean, just going off of some big ones that happened this offseason was the Vikings picking up a consistent quarterback. Or someone who's more consistent than they got.
Right.
Well, who they had was nobody. Yeah, that's who they had. All three of their quarterbacks left. So
And Kirk Cousins is better than nobody.
That's true.
but is he $86 million guaranteed?
Okay,
though?
that's
See, I don't think anyone
now we're
is
getting
worth
into
86 million.
No,
No,
see,
and-
here's my thing. I'm glad that Kirk Cousins finally got paid and he's appreciated. I'm glad. However, Kirk Cousins, I don't think is worth $86 million. He is a B- quarterback on a good day. And I think the tools that he has there with Thielen and Diggs and Rudolph and Cook when he's healthy, Murray, I think that's a good situation for him to go to. I feel like I think that was the right place to go to. I don't think the Vikings should have spent that much money on him, only because there's no incentive to play anymore. He could literally sit on his thumb and do nothing for 3 years and collect cash and walk out. He could totally do that if he wanted to. I'm not saying he's going to. I'm not saying he doesn't seem like a guy who would do that. But it just kind of shows me that the Vikings got a little bit desperate, I think, and they panicked and they thought, oh, well, he is the best quarterback available right now. We're not sure if we're going to be able to get someone in the draft, so fork over as much money as possible, grab him now so that no other team gets him. I feel like this was a panic move on the Vikings' part.
I completely agree with everything you said. He was definitely overpaid.
Yes.
But that's the one position that I feel they needed to contend for the NFC.
Right.
that is true.
And they got their guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was gonna say, do you think Case Keenum was worth it for the Broncos getting him, or do you think that they're still gonna try to get a quarterback in the draft? I mean, we'll go over that when we get to our mock drafts, but do you think that they're set, or do you think that they'll try to get someone?
I think it's going to depend who's on the board when they're there, because they've got a few needs, and so
That's true.
if there's something with a bigger need that comes up that's still there, they're going to go.
Yeah.
I think for them it'd be smarter to get as many as they could, even if they're not, shown worthy. If they can get enough bang for their buck for
Right.
on that end, I think in the long run they'd be smarter. Because if you think about it, they haven't really this past season. They didn't really show any sort of leading headway after Manning left. It just seemed like they fizzled out, and all of their resources kind of scattered to wherever they could find the best dollar.
Yeah.
So I think if they need to rebuild, they need to have some sort of
I think Case Keenum is a good player to build around. Honestly, I don't think.
But I'd also think that being said, if you have all your eggs in one basket, you're liable that if he gets injured, if anything happens to your star on that team,
Right.
you're gonna end up fizzling out and turning.
Yeah. I mean, I think that one of the teams that made the biggest impact was the Browns in this offseason. They started
agree.
out with a bang, and I think on paper they're a much better team than they were last year. I mean, they made a trade for Tyrod Taylor, Jarvis Landry, Demarius Randall. They traded Deshaun Kaiser for Demarius Randall, which, if you're Brett Hundley sitting there in Green Bay, you must think so high of yourself.
Yeah.
That we prefer the 0-16 guy. We
Yeah.
want him on our team.
Right.
Just in case.
Just-
In case. We're not saying we're replacing you, but just in case.
Oh, Lord.
That says a lot.
That's like
That's
I don't
such a
know.
middle finger.
Yeah.
But there are talks that Odell Beckham he's not going to play for any team unless he gets a big contract. There's a lot of talks, or Jarvis Landry is trying to make a case to bring him to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Which, can you imagine what that team would look like if
That'd
they got
be-
Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry?
That would be crazy.
And oh my gosh,
Yeah.
they're a 5-win team at least at that point.
Oh, I'd hope so. It'd be stupid if
Yeah.
they couldn't. Yeah.
I kid, of course.
Aren't they-
We'll get more into
Aren't the
records
Browns
and stuff.
Not to trash talk the Chargers, but aren't the Browns like 42-1, and their only one is the Chargers?
Yes. it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Don't remind us.
2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm just saying.
You are a douche. Anyway.
Hey, if the cookie fits the mold, I'm just saying.
Matt, what do you think? Your impressions of free agency so far?
It's been a whirlwind. You
Yes.
know, guys going everywhere. Guys signing what seemed to be just like, to me, to be just holdover quarterbacks until they get the guy they want.
Right.
Mhm.
I think Tyrod Taylor's that kind of guy. I think Case Keenum's going to be that kind of guy. Because I think they're going to go after a quarterback in the draft.
Do you think the Cardinals will go after a quarterback even though they have Sam Bradford?
Right. Yeah, and that's another guy. I think they are going to go after somebody in the draft if there's somebody available. I mean, it depends on how quickly they all come off the board.
That's true.
But I mean, there could be 6 first-round quarterbacks in this draft. It's crazy.
Yeah.
you know, I think people aren't really talking about Mason Rudolph from OSU, but I think even he could sneak into the first round.
Yeah.
And shoot, I don't know if Lamar Jackson's the only guy left. They could take him.
Wow. Yeah.
I think there's plenty of guys.
I was gonna say in my mock draft, I think I have 4 quarterbacks going, but we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that I was gonna say there were some recent moves that were made, like Marquette King, the punter for the Raiders. He got cut. And there was another player who got waived recently too. But yeah, and it's great. The Chargers, they signed Marquise Pouncey, the center from Miami, which I think was a good sign. They needed some leadership on the offensive line, and I think with Forrest Lamp and Feeney coming back, and like they'll be healthy next year, I think the offensive line will look a lot better. Russell Okung showed to be a much better player than he was in Denver, which I think a lot of people were concerned about when he was signed last offseason. But he was a Pro Bowler this year. He was a great player. Locked down that side, the blind side for Rivers. So I think that the offensive line just got a lot better with Pouncey in the middle, and I think that next year when everyone's healthy, if everyone stays healthy, because that's always the crux of the Chargers. Like they always get hurt before they even get to the gate. So they're never healthy straight out of the gate. So, but there was another signing that I was kind of surprised about with Jonathan Stewart signing with the Giants. Now that makes me think: are they going to go running back in the draft at all? And I don't.
It makes sense.
I mean, I don't think they will. I think they're okay with like Darkwa, Perkins, and Stewart. I think they're okay with those 3. I think they'll try to build around Eli and then potentially Davis Webb, who they have as their backup, who they want to be their quarterback of the future. I think they're going to start building around him, which whether that be offensive lineman. I wouldn't be surprised if they went offensive playmaker like in the first round either. Like if they traded down, maybe got some more picks, and then took a receiver that'll probably be there like at 12 or 13 or whatever.
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, Christian Kirk. That's another one from Texas A&M. There's still, I'm pretty sure there's still some wide receivers in free agency. I think they're still available if they wanted to go out and get. I was gonna say a lot of notable ones that have been signed. Sammy Watkins went to Kansas City.
Yeah.
Which he said the big reason for that was for Patrick Mahomes, because he knew that he was the quarterback there. Terrell Pryor went to the Jets to fuel their wide receiver.
Now,
you look like you have something to say about.
I don't think that was the best choice for the Jets, and there's more than one reason why. Their last season they didn't like picking somebody like that is the same reason why that the Giants would have a running team instead of building on Eli Manning. It's you're putting more money in something that you don't need to put money in. If you know Eli can do good throws, get receivers that can catch his throws. If you know you're going to be hiring, or rather drafting somebody in a field
it's
that
hiring. They're hiring.
They're hiring them, yeah.
That's what it is.
But if you're going to be putting money into an area that you know that the Jets aren't exactly the best at anyway, and they're Jets, in my mind, they should focus on their passing game, because there's last season they've had one of the worst passing game I've seen them have in a long time.
Yeah.
But that being said, I also think that when you make a play like that, I don't know. I'm confused by it. Really, I don't understand why they would
they're,
draft him.
they also signed Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback.
Yeah.
So I think they addressed an issue a little bit with their passing issue. They have a Terrell Pryor who's shown flashes of being a number one receiver, but I think that he still has something to prove.
Consistency is important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and he wasn't very consistent in Washington,
No.
although he was hurt most of the season. So
Right.
that's why he wasn't consistent. But I think if he's healthy, I think he could be a solid number one receiver for Teddy Bridgewater. And if Teddy gets hurt, which he probably will, Pryor could be a solid backup quarterback.
Yeah.
He's proven he could do that too.
Yeah.
So I think Terrell Pryor was a good move for the Jets. I think he'll be able to be a solid piece moving forward. They also signed Isaiah Crowell from the Browns, so they do have a solid running back with him and Powell. Bilal Powell. I think that could be a really good.
I think they should stick to that because I mean, with the two of them, you should be able to at least make some plays, some 5-8 yard consistent plays.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we touched on it a little bit, but I think we can move on to the
So I guess we should move on to the draft. Let's just get this out of the way. What was the best player and the bust player in the draft? What was the best and the worst player in the draft this year?
This last year?
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta say it. I think even though it wasn't really his fault, Mike Williams for the Chargers, he just got hurt, and I think he was a bust last year because he was supposed to be like the solid number 2 receiver,
Right.
and he wasn't able to play a full season. He wasn't even able to play like a full game.
Right.
So
I thought for sure you were going to say Bosa. That guy was a drama queen. He didn't
Well,
follow through at all.
He was in the draft last year. He wasn't even in the draft from the draft this year.
I mean, it felt like it with that contract dispute. Shit, you'd be dragging that out for years, and then he finally came over.
Leave Moose alone. He's fine. He'll be fine. He got his money. He'll be fine. I think Mike Williams was I think kind of a bust for the Chargers. And I think the biggest steal of the draft, and I think most of you guys will agree with me, was Alvin Kamara. The Saints getting him in the 4th round, right?
Yeah.
And he.
How much was he signed for? It was cheap, wasn't it?
4th round pick, it's like minimum. You don't get paid that much.
Yeah, I think it's the minimum.
It's
minimum.
crazy.
And he had like 1,500 total yards.
That's
like
crazy.
from scrimmage, like receiving and rushing.
Yeah.
And then I think he returned like a 103-yard kick return against the Buccaneers near the end of the season.
Yeah.
The guy did everything for them. I think he was a huge steal for them.
He was the 3rd pick of the 3rd round.
3rd pick of the 3rd round. There you
that's
go.
Fine. Yeah.
And he was. I think he was a steal for them.
Yeah.
But what about you guys? What do you think? If not bust, I think it's hard to say bust because a lot of rookies last year did pretty well. But was there anyone that you say probably was a steal for like where they got picked?
I mean, Kamara is the big one.
Right. One that kind of jumps out at you.
As in regards to busts, I'm not ready to say anyone was a bust from last year. I think it's too soon.
I mean, just a bust. Confined to that year. Like, it was like having a disappointing season.
Obviously, I think it's got to be. I mean, the injury sucks.
Yeah. Which is not really his fault.
It's not his fault.
You can't really put it on him.
And he was injured going into the draft, so they knew what they were getting into.
Yeah.
But I definitely think I don't know how they found Kamara in the 3rd round, but
he kind of fell into their lap. Though.
Yeah.
He kind of flew under the radar. No one really talked about him that much going into the draft. It was Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey. Those are like the 2 guys that everyone talked about. And then Alvin Kamara was like 5th or 6th on a lot of people's top 5 running backs. So it was like, but.
Yeah. I see Matt's over there typing away.
I'm trying to I always forget from year to year, so I'm trying to remember what is going on. I mean, it's really hard after 1 year, especially, feel like at defensive positions in particular, because I feel like it takes a while to get your mind wrapped around a new defense and the speed of the game and all those things, because defense is so reactionary. But You know, they
What
were,
about Solomon Thomas? Did anyone even hear about him? during
No,
the season?
I was looking back at the draft and I was like, oh yeah, that's a name that I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, and that was a name that was talked about extensively throughout, like leading up to that draft, and then during the season, I never heard about him afterwards.
Yeah, it's weird stuff.
So you can consider him a bust so far.
But
Anyway.
I mean, Kamara is clearly the best. I think that Dalvin Cook is going to have success eventually.
Yeah.
I don't think it showed last year, but I think he's going to be good.
Yeah. You know what? For me, was a player that I think should have been taken in the first round. Was Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
I
Yes.
think he should have been taken in the first round, and the fact that no one did, I think people regretted that because the Steelers, they didn't need another receiver.
No,
but
they
he
had
was-
Wallace and Brown. Like,
they didn't have dude.
Didn't they?
Wallace is he's on the Eagles now.
Is he?
You should know that.
we're talking about last year, aren't we?
Yes, he was on the Ravens last year.
Was he?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm thinking of someone else then.
Mike Wallace, right?
I think so.
Yeah, they had Brown, they had Bryant.
Right.
They had solid receivers. They didn't need a guy like Schuster, but they took him, and then he ended up being probably one of the best receivers in the NFL last year.
Yeah.
They always find great receivers in the draft. The Steelers do.
I know they always do.
Mm-hmm.
But he, if not in the fourth round, if not in the first round, he should have gone at least
That's
in the
why I
second
was
round.
thinking
It
Wallace.
was Juju went in the 30th pick of the second round.
30th pick of the second round. Okay.
That's why I was thinking of Wallace
Okay.
because the Steelers drafted him.
Steelers drafted
They were a
Wallace,
first
yeah.
round pick. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what I
he
was
was,
thinking.
yes.
Of. Yeah.
Okay, so he went in the second round. Okay, that's fine. That's better, I guess. But
Right.
he should have been a first round pick. Like I was thinking to myself, man, if imagine if the Chargers got him instead.
I don't know if they'd know what to do with him though. I mean,
He's a
good-
receiver.
I know
Like,
he's
let
a
him
good.
run. Let him run routes and catch the ball. That's what he does.
Here's one guy we haven't talked about yet. Kareem Hunt,
Ooh, yeah,
yeah.
from Central Michigan, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
He's
that
pretty
guy.
good.
third
no.
round to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
That was I know he led the league in rushing last year. Like he did. He it's funny, they gave him the choice to sit out or contend for the title, and he's like, "No, I want the title." It's from Toledo, my
Yeah.
mistake.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then he did what Ezekiel Elliott did the year before and just led the league in rushing out of nowhere, and was just like, "Oh, okay, cool." And I was gonna say, freaking Ezekiel Elliott. We're not gonna talk about that. That was. Ooh, I mean, it started out bad, but and then it got better, and then he was just suspended for the last 6 games, and it was like you could have just served that suspension in the beginning. you
Yeah.
idiot. But anyway, I mean, whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's a can of worms we don't need to open.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So,
But-
I think we can move into mock drafts now. I think.
yeah. I feel like no one's on the Eagles. So there's no Eagles members on that team, probably.
Yeah.
No. But
So I think what we can do is we'll go like in chunks. So we'll go like top 5. We'll each share 5 picks and talk about them, and then we'll move on to the next ones until we get to the end. All right, sound good?
I also don't have a mock, but I've got ideas.
You got ideas.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Tom and I guess we'll be going back and forth. It's okay. We'll be going back and forth, and we both have our own mock drafts, and then we can just talk about them and maybe see if we all agree or if we think that someone's full of crap. All right, so Tom, would you like to share your top 5 first?
Sure, I'll go ahead. So with the first pick of the draft,
First pick of the
Um,
2018 draft.
I've got the Browns taking Darnold. Now hold on. I know, I understand. Hear me out.
Sam
So-
Darnold.
So I have extreme concerns about him. He's not ready to come out.
Sam Darnold.
He's not ready to come out of college yet. But
He's
he
not ready to
did.
go out of high school yet.
My one thing is he
He
can't
looks like
handle.
he looks like one of my youth kids.
The major concern I have is he can't handle the pressure, but the Browns always screw up the first pick.
I mean, the dude
and they're
looks-
going to continue to do it this year.
The dude looks like he can't handle
Um,
puberty either. I'm just saying. Like, don't get me wrong. I get where you're coming from with this, but really? Come on. Come on.
Important. I think it's important to remember that this isn't what Tom thinks is a good idea. This is what he thinks will happen. I also don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, that would not be my number one pick. But I
No.
agree with Tom. I think that that's going to be the number one guy.
Evan and I are just
I,
no. No.
all right. Or number 2. Who,
Num-
what are
number
the Giants
two,
taking?
number 2, the Giants are gonna go with an offensive guard from Notre Dame, Quentin Nelson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Um,
makes sense.
they just got Nate Solder, but they need extreme help with the
Mhm.
Yeah,
line.
they do.
Oh yeah.
And
They gave up the most sacks last year, didn't they?
Yeah,
yes.
they did.
It was that or second
It
most.
was the
a
most
lot.
sacks. Eli was hit the most times.
Mm-hmm.
Which I loved
Um,
every second of.
Yeah. Oh, I can't stand Eli.
You were like the evil professor from
I'm like,
from
yes.
007.
Yeah.
Pegging your head like,
Good.
yes.
Yeah.
More.
Very good. Yes.
But
Anyway.
I think Nelson will sure up the line a little bit. They still need help.
What's good about Quinton is that he can play left guard and right guard. He can switch
Mhm.
over.
Yes.
He played center a little bit too. So I think he's a good like Swiss Army knife offensive lineman. I just have him as like an offensive guard. Like he
Yeah.
can play either or.
Yeah.
No, that's a solid pick for them.
Yeah, I think so too.
At 3, I've got the Jets. They traded up for this pick,
Mhm.
so I think it's pretty. I mean, I'm pretty convinced they're going QB here, and they're gonna take Josh Rosen out of UCLA.
Yeah.
I think he's the best fit for their system,
Mm-hmm.
and I think this is where they're going. This is the only thing I can think of why they trade up for this pick.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, teams don't normally trade up in the draft to the top 10 unless they are taking like a really like cornerstone piece, like unless
Yeah.
they're taking like a running back or a quarterback or like they don't trade up like that unless they actually are going to take.
Yeah, and they only moved up 3 spots. They had the 6th pick,
Right.
and they moved up to 3. So they're going to go Rosen there. 4 is the Browns, part 2.
geez.
This pick, it makes more sense.
It's another quarterback.
You laugh. There are mock drafts that actually have them taking 2 quarterbacks with
But
number
why
1 and number
though?
4, only because because his reasoning was, it's like they suck at picking quarterbacks, so this year they'll double down. They'll
Yeah.
take 2. That way they can't
Oh
miss.
my God.
I'm like, oh,
With-
that's so dumb.
With the 4th pick,
Anyway,
they're
sorry.
going to fill a hole in defensive back with Minka Fitzpatrick. I think they just went out and got Hyde. I don't think they're going to go Barkley. A lot of drafts I was seeing were saying Barkley. I don't know why you go Hyde unless you're going to tag team. But they need a ton of help in the
It's-
secondary.
He's out of
Alabama.
yeah.
Minka
that's right.
Fitzpatrick, yes,
Right.
he is a defensive back out of
Yeah,
Alabama.
yeah.
He's not a true corner. He's not even a true safety. He's a guy who he's kind of like Tyrann Mathieu. You
Yeah.
throw him anywhere and he can do it. My only concern with him is he's not a lockdown man-to-man guy.
Mhm.
He's not known to be that. So I think he'll take some time like moving him around, see where he fits best. I think
Yeah.
he's got speed. I think he can be a good like center fielder guy.
Yeah, I like that pick there. I think another way they might go is Nick Chubb. Get somebody on the other side of Myles Garrett because I think the importance of a pass rush cannot be overstated.
Absolutely. I was gonna say, you saw the Chargers. After they got Bosa, they became like one of the best. Like him and Ingram became one of the best pass rushing duos in the NFL. They had like the most hits and the most sacks, like in like a 6-week span than anyone in the league. And I think more teams are trying to emulate that. I mean, the Eagles too. They have a lot of pass rushers on that team.
Yeah,
that
they do.
They can just like move them around and
Yeah.
like. It just makes it so much easier for their defensive backs and their linebackers to cover and everything.
This season's all right. I'm not going to start on the Eagles. That's
Anyway.
And with the 5th pick, it's a little bit different than what you guys probably have on yours.
We'll see.
surprises.
But with the Broncos, I've got Denzel Ward from
Oh.
Ohio State. They just lost Talib. They need help.
They didn't lose them. They traded him. There's a
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah, they got rid of him.
They like
and
those
need-
Buckeye players. They draft a lot of them. I've noticed.
Yeah,
and
Bradley
they
Roby.
need a
Yeah.
replacement. And I think
He reminds me a lot of Chris Harris.
Mhm.
So I think that's a good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, yeah. My top 5 is very similar to yours. Not completely.
I can
okay.
only wonder which one is different.
I mean, I have a few that are different. So for me, my number 1 overall pick, my draft, I went based off what teams need, not whatever I think they're going to do. I went off what they should do. So with the first overall pick in the 2018 draft, I have the Browns selecting Saquon Barkley out of Penn State. He is the best player in this draft. I don't care if you have I don't care if you have Hyde. You get the best available player, and if you miss on him and you don't take him, you're going to regret it. I'm sorry. He is probably the best. He's the best running back in this draft. He's the best running back to come out of college in like a really long time. He's a freakish athlete. And I think if the Browns take another quarterback with the number 1 overall pick, I'm going to shoot myself because
That's what they're saying. I mean,
they can't
Don't do that. There's a high chance of that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
a lot of people are saying they're going to take Josh Allen or someone like. I know. That's what they're saying, though.
anyway.
I know.
I can't, because what they need to stop doing is they need to stop putting all their eggs in this one quarterback basket, and then when it doesn't work, they throw it out.
Yeah.
They're so quick to do that. I mean, they just did that with Deshaun Kaiser. They traded him away because he didn't do very well, which, to be fair, his supporting cast wasn't great.
No.
But with Tyrod, yes, a lot of people call him a placeholding quarterback. I have way more faith in Tyrod than I think people should, or people think that I should. Tyrod Taylor, I think, is such an underrated quarterback that I think that with him there, if they draft Saquon Barkley, they make the playoffs this year. Wow. I truly believe that. No, because he doesn't turn over the ball much. He had like 4 interceptions last year to like 14 touchdowns. He didn't play the whole season, but what I'm saying is he's a guy who will win you games by not turning the ball over, and that's what their biggest issue was.
Yeah,
I think if
turnovers.
they go quarterback, and they're gonna go, if they go quarterback, which they probably will, and that's gonna make me mad, is there's gonna be the pressure to start him early, and then what's gonna happen is what happened with Nate Peterman last year. The Bills didn't think that he was a great they didn't think that Tyrod was a good quarterback, so they put in Nate Peterman, and we saw how that happened, how that ended with 5 interceptions, and then they put Tyrod Taylor back at the end.
Yep.
It was hilarious to watch. And mark my words, if they draft a quarterback, a similar situation is going to happen like that again, where they're going to force him to play, and then he's going to suck, and everyone's going to be like, oh, well, that's what happens. So that's my reasoning for the first overall pick. Now, moving to my second overall pick, I agree with you. Quentin Nelson, I think, is a solid, like, can't miss player in this draft. Wherever he goes, he's gonna be great because he is a big, solid guy who's gonna hold the center, who's gonna hold like those nose tackles, and he's got long arms, and he'll be fine. He'll be good. The Jets, I have them taking Josh Rosen too, only because. And I have them taking Josh Rosen, not Baker or Josh Allen, only because he fits more that prototypical build, and he's played a lot more top tier talent than Josh Allen has, and that's why I put him over Josh Allen, and he's been in a lot of high pressure situations where he's come out on top, where I think the Jets need that, especially in the division with the Patriots. I feel like that would be a really good fit for him. And fourth, in the Browns, I have them taking Bradley Chubb, which is what Matt mentioned. And I think, yes, he's a very blue chip player, and he's a guy who's gonna do work for you, and he's definitely a grinder. He's not. I don't think he's a pure like edge rusher, but he definitely has pass rushing ability, just like Myles Garrett. So I think that having those two and like solidifying your edges, I think that will be great. And then Broncos at 5, I have them taking Denzel Ward as well, just because, like I mentioned before, he reminds me a lot of Chris Harris. And I think having 2 players like that could be good, solid lockdown corners. They both have good speed. I think that'll be really good for in the division with a lot of speedy receivers like Sammy Watkins, Tyrell Williams from the Chargers, and Tyreek Hill and Amari Cooper too. Yeah. So I think that'll be good to lock down lock down Denzel Ward at 5. Now, I can start at my 6 and go to my 10, and then you can do yours.
Go for it.
Cool. So the Colts at 6, I have them taking Tremaine Edmonds, linebacker from Virginia Tech. He's definitely a 3-down linebacker, and when I did watch tape of him, he was running all over the place. He was sideline. He's a sideline to sideline linebacker. He's pretty quick. So I think that'll help out and add some like leadership to that defense, because the Colts need an identity right now. They really do.
Yeah, I think linebacker is the right way to go. I would flip-flop Tremaine Evans with Roquan Smith, though. I'm just like a Roquan guy. I think he's got that speed there, and he's a 3-down linebacker. He's the total package, but I mean, you can't go wrong either way, I think.
With the Bucks, I have them taking Derwin James. He's a safety defensive back from Florida State. I think he reminds me a lot of Cam Chancellor a little bit, just in his build and just how he loves to hit people. So I think he'll be a better like safety. I think he can also play a good like safety linebacker hybrid, like Cam Chancellor or like Sua Cravens did for USC before he got drafted. I think he could be a good. By the way, Sua Cravens got traded to the Broncos. Did you guys hear about that? Yeah, I don't know if you heard about that, but that just happened. And then at 8, I have the Bears tanking Minkah Fitzpatrick. Now I think they have a good safety pair with Amos and Eddie Jackson, but I think adding a third defensive back, I think trying to figure out where Minkah fits best, because he's not a cornerback, but he's not like a safety either. So I think moving him around and seeing where he fits best, because I think Amos and Eddie Jackson are good enough players that you can move them around and they can play out of position. So I think having the 3 of them to mix and match, I think would be good for that team, especially in a league like when Aaron Rodgers is coming back and now you got Kirk Cousins in that division too. I think adding a defensive back help would be good. For the 49ers, I have them taking Roquan Smith, only because Reuben Foster has been proved to have some off-the-field issues, and there's not a lot of consistency, and it's hard to tell if he's ever going to be on the field. So I have them taking Roquan Smith, he reminds me a lot of like Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis a lot too, just like in his build and just kind of like his dogfighting attitude, just like he's a guy who's going to stick his face in there and do work for you. And then rounding out my top 10, I have the Raiders taking Marcus Davenport, the defensive end from the Texas San Antonio school, that Division II school. Yeah,
So random.
Right, but
their football program started like 5 years ago or something. It's ridiculous.
And the dude's like 6'6", he's got long arms, and he's got speed. So I think that'll be a good pairing on the opposite side of Khalil Mack. I feel like, especially in again a league or in a division where the other teams like to throw the ball around. You need to get after the quarterback. So I think Marcus Davenport is the guy for the Raiders. So what about your 6 through 10, Tom?
So at 6, I've got the Colts taking Chubb.
Right, because he fell for you.
He fell. I think he's the best defensive player in the draft.
Really?
And the Colts need a pass rusher. So that's why I had him there. With 7, the Buccaneers take Barkley.
Wow. Oh man, I would hate to see him fall to 7. I would hate to see him fall out of the top 5.
They don't have Doug Martin anymore.
Oh yeah, he's signed with the Raiders.
And right. Since I didn't have him going in the top 5, he's going to go to the Buccaneers. He's not falling anywhere past here.
You don't think the Colts are going to take him? Frank Gore's not there anymore.
They might. That one was different. I think the Colts need defensive help a little more than running back.
Okay.
Which is why I went Chubb there. With 8, I went Tremaine Edmonds to the Bears.
The Bears.
For all the reasons that you had already stated. And then 9, I went Derwin James to the 49ers. They just went out and got Sherman, and they're going to load their secondary, and it's going to be pretty scary for a while.
For as long as Richard Sherman's going to play. Yeah, for sure.
And then the Raiders, I've got them taking Smith Roquan.
Oh, okay. He seems like he would be a good Raider.
Yeah.
What is that supposed to mean?
I think they need a linebacker.
I mean, he's a punk. So
Oh, there you
go. Well, I mean,
Eh.
in a
Yeah,
good,
just-
no, in a good way, Like, you need a punk at linebacker who's gonna put a little mustard on some hits. You know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
He's the guy for them to do that for sure.
Yeah, and I was thinking same along those lines when I was looking at him. I was like, he fit right in.
He reminds me a little bit of Ray Lewis too, and just kind of how
Mhm.
how he likes to put a little extra stank on people when he hits them. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry. So all right, so 11 through 15. Let's hit it.
Okay. And now with 11, don't kill me. But the Dolphins go Josh Allen here.
I don't.
Um,
Okay,
That's a wise
okay. That's
move, I
not.
think.
That's not terrible. I thought it was gonna be like way worse, but okay. That's
No,
not. That's
they-
not that bad.
They need a quarterback, and I love Allen's arm. He's got plus arm strength, but he can't hit the side of a barn.
Matt's just going. Thank you.
And so I think he's gonna be another bust, but I think this is one of the panic moves where they need a quarterback
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna just go after one.
Yeah.
I've got an opinion.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so I think they might actually go quarterback here. I think they might go Baker Mayfield though, because of the offensive system, the offensive mind you got there. Might work out for
yeah.
them. I also think they might go defensive tackle. So my guy would be the Washington guy,
Since
Vita
yeah.
since
Vea.
Ndamukong Suh is not
Yeah.
there anymore. Well, I was gonna say if we could just go back and forth. The Dolphins, I have them taking Vita Vea.
Okay.
My only concern with him is that 9.5 sacks in his whole collegiate career. He's not going to be a pass rusher, defensive tackle like Ndamukong Suh.
Right.
But I think he'll be a good hole plugger.
Right, exactly.
I
That's
think
he's going to eat up blocks.
But the thing is though, I don't see him being like an every down defensive tackle, which I guess is good for him to start and just kind of get a feel for the system. I think he'll be in there for certain sub packages, but he'll work his way up to more snaps, and I think he can be an every down tackle. I think he can be. But sorry. Okay, so who do you have the Bills taking at 12 there, Tom?
The Bills, I've got him taking Mike McGlinchey from Notre Dame.
Okay.
I think
the tackle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they give McCarron a chance. I think they at least give him 1 year. So I don't think they go quarterback just yet. But they have a hole in the offensive line, and that's their next biggest hole.
Yeah, I think their offensive line is solid enough, but for me, see, we've talked about it before. Teams don't trade up as far as teams trade up to not take quarterbacks. So 12, I have the Bills taking Josh Allen. I don't like Josh Allen. I think he's overrated. I think he's got an A+ arm strength wise, but Matt and I have talked about it. We watched Senior Bowl practice where they have the net with the pockets in it.
Yeah.
And they with numbers, and they tell them what number, and he's supposed to hit the pockets. He turns, he throws, he misses the net. He misses the net completely. He doesn't even hit the pocket. Nothing. He just airballs it completely. And I think the biggest red flag for him is that he's got all the measurables. He's got the arm strength, but he's gonna miss a lot. And I think what needs to happen, he needs to work on his footwork, and he needs to be able to plant his feet better, because a lot of the interceptions that he threw were back foot.
Yeah.
Or some of them weren't his fault. They bounced off receivers' hands and then they got picked off, so that's not his fault. But I think that he needs to be in a system where he can turn around and hand the ball off a lot, like Marshawn McCoy. I think having a running back like that would be good for him. So that's why I have the Bills taking Josh Allen. So who do you have at 13 there, Tom?
13, the Redskins are going to go Mike Hughes out of Central Florida, the cornerback. Their secondary needs some help.
Okay.
And I really like Hughes. I think he's a player. We'll just say he plays hard every snap. He's never going to take a snap off. and I think he's the type of player they need right now.
Yeah. For me, I have them. Matt will appreciate this. Orlando Brown, offensive tackle from Oklahoma. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but I think they have Williams at left tackle. You throw Orlando Brown over at right tackle, I think he'll be a solid like run blocker for him. And then reunite Sajay P. Ryan with his offensive line buddy, and then have him run behind him. I think that'd be awesome.
And you look at his combine stats are just awful, just historically bad.
Yes.
But you turn on the tape and you see a totally different guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you look at his sacks given up. I think it was 1 sack in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And
he's
so
a
that's
solid
unreal.
player. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they just traded for Alex Smith. Alex Smith he's proven he can be a mobile guy, but he's getting older, so you need to protect Alex Smith. So I think getting an offensive tackle to shore up that offensive line, I think, is the move to go. Do you have any thoughts on this, David? You've been awfully quiet.
No, I'm just taking in everything. I don't know. You're definitely right though. He is not a good player on paper, but when you watch him, he's like explosive. He's great.
It's weird.
Yeah.
He's just
But-
strong. That's
yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who do you got at 14 there, Tom?
So 14, I got the Packers taking Davenport.
Wow. Oh yeah, he fought. Yeah, that's right. He fell.
They need a pass rusher, and I think he'll fit in that defense.
For me, I have them taking Josh Jackson, the cornerback from Iowa, just because they traded Demarius Randall, so they need to fill in that spot. I think he's probably the best lockdown corner in this draft. Denzel Ward has speed, and he's more of like an athletic cornerback, but technique-wise, I feel like Josh Jackson is the best one in the draft, and I think falling to them at 14 is great for them because they need a cornerback that can lock down guys like Stephon Diggs and Thielen and stuff like that. So and freaking Allen Robinson, who's on the Bears now. They need someone to lock down these bigger receivers in the NFC North. So I think they go Josh Jackson there.
Okay.
Who do you got at 15 there,
So
Tommy?
the Cardinals, I got them taking Baker Mayfield,
Wow.
quarterback Oklahoma. He'll be sitting behind Sam Bradford, another Oklahoma guy.
Don't even get me started on Sam Bradford right now.
And
Don't even get me.
hopefully,
Don't even get me. We traded a pick for that piece of anyway.
hopefully,
You traded Nick Foles for him.
Yeah, that was a good plan actually. Won us the damn Super Bowl.
No, I mean you traded Nick Foles initially for Sam Bradford.
I know.
to
I'm
the
saying.
Rams.
Yeah, I'm saying why we did that
yeah.
Anyway.
for that guy.
But yeah, I think they need a quarterback of the future, and maybe Bradford can teach him a thing or two.
like how to flake out.
Oh man.
Have brittle bones.
Yeah.
Oh, behave. At 15, I have them taking Connor Williams, offensive guard from Texas. He was probably the brightest spot on that Texas team. It's because Texas has not been known for being great. Oh,
Here's the state of Texas football. Their punter declared early this year.
Is that the first time that a punter's ever declared early?
Oh,
it's like I need to get on a team that wins at least 3 games.
right.
But I have him taking Connor Williams. He's a big, strong guy. I feel like putting him on the opposite side of Upati on the left guard side or the right guard side, whichever side Upati plays on.
I think he's left.
I think he's left
Yeah.
guard. I knew they had him at right guard a few times, so that's why. And I think having him on the opposite side will help shore up that offensive line to protect Sam Bradford. I think they should try to stick with Sam Bradford because the contract that he signed, they have a second year team option. So if he's good, then they'll re-sign him. So I was gonna say you don't sign a guy unless you want him to play, right? So I was gonna say sign him. So draft Connor Williams, protect Sam Bradford. You guys might have a chance in the NFC West this year because it's kind of been falling apart. Anyway, moving on to 16, we got the Ravens. Who do you got them taking, dude?
So with the Ravens, I went a little bit different from what a lot of mock drafts are saying.
So is this going to be controversial?
Yeah, you guys might not like it. But I've got James Daniels, center from Iowa.
Oh.
They
Okay.
they just
That's-
lost their starting center.
Yeah.
And they
Oh,
need-
to the
they've got-
to the Packers.
Yeah, Ryan
correct?
Jensen.
Ryan Jensen. Yeah, that dude's a freak.
um
He's like a redhead. All of his red hair flowing out.
Yeah, he
the
looks like a
ground. That's
Viking.
awesome.
Yeah.
they need to start working on filling that hole. I don't know if Daniels will fill it right away, but I think in the long run he'll be the answer.
Mm.
Yeah. I have the Ravens taking an offensive lineman as well, but Colton Miller, tackle from UCLA. I think they have enough like offensive linemen there that are kind of like mix and matching enough, but you can move like one of your tackles to guard, and then have Colton Miller play right tackle because they have Stanley at left tackle.
Yeah.
So I think adding depth at offensive line is always good. So you can like move pieces around and mix and match and see like what fits best, because they had because I remember before they had Osemele playing tackle and then they moved him into guard, and that was a better fit. So that organization's been known for moving pieces around and making it fit like to the best of their ability. So I think drafting a tackle there, a big strong guy who could play guard if you wanted him to. I think he'll be a good fit for them. So who do you have the Chargers picking at 17, Tom?
So the Chargers, they pick a kid that I love.
Oh yeah.
Leighton Vander Esch out of Boise
the
State.
linebacker. Yeah.
Being in the Mountain West, I've seen a lot of him. He's a tackling machine, and I love this kid.
See, I don't agree with them taking a linebacker because I feel like every year they take a linebacker pretty high, and I get that it's because like injuries happen and they need depth at linebacker, but I feel like they need to go somewhere else.
Okay.
Somewhere that I've been saying for a while that they need to take in the first round and they never have. And Matt, you'll like this one. I have the Chargers taking Baker Mayfield
Ooh.
from Oklahoma at 17. He can sit behind Rivers and learn, and then when Rivers decides to hang up the cleats,
Next year.
Baker Mayfield. I don't think Rivers.
No,
will be,
he'll be around for a couple
I
years.
don't think he'll retire next year.
You're
but,
right. He has like 57 kids he has to take care of.
I think he has 9 kids. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
no.
Dude is committed though. Drives
yeah.
up to LA.
Yeah, drives up to LA, exactly. But yeah, Baker Mayfield at 17, he could sit behind Rivers, learn, and then when he is ready to play, he's got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, hopefully be healthy at the time when he's ready to play.
Right.
And then he'll have Hunter Henry, Melvin Gordon, and they got that great defense there with a rejuvenated secondary who freaking led the league in interceptions at one point. It was like the best rated secondary. That I think they've needed to take a quarterback pretty high in the draft with the specific reason to groom them to be the backup. And I think Baker falling to them there makes the most sense. So
Yeah.
I think
I do agree. If they don't go Leighton, I think and Baker's on the board, I think they go Baker.
yeah.
With 18, the Seahawks, I have them taking Josh Jackson from Iowa.
Now explain that a little bit.
Well, I think I know where he's going, but go for it.
So they lost Sherman.
Right.
Yeah.
And they've got that's Josh Jackson isn't gonna fill Sherman's
Right.
shoes.
Yeah.
But you got to start.
You gotta start grabbing pieces and hope one of them sticks.
Yeah.
You've gotta do something to.
I feel like the NFC West has just been getting beaten up, and then just
I think you've gotta start trying to build the secondary back up.
Yeah.
It's kind of a changing of a guard, and they've got to bring a new generation in.
Speaking of changing of a guard, I have them taking Isaiah Wynn, guard from Georgia. I think freaking Russell Wilson was running way too much last year. He needs to sit in the pocket and be a quarterback. He doesn't need to be the running back for them too. So I think that solidifying that offensive line, they traded for Brown, which he's an older guy. I considered having them take a tackle, but I don't think there was any tackles worth taking left at the moment in the draft. So I have them taking Wynn, which I think he's a solid guy in the middle that will protect them and then will also help out in the run game a lot. So that's why I have them. That's why I have taking. That's why I have the Seahawks taking.
Okay.
All right, who do you have at 19 there?
With 19, the Cowboys go Calvin Ridley.
Oh yeah,
wide receiver
me too.
from Alabama.
Me too.
They need someone to take some of that attention off of Dez. and put him on the other
Dez
side.
won't be there anymore. Sorry. Well, no, they signed Alan Hearns. Dez is going to be out of there, dude. He's asking for way too much money for production that's not worth the money he's asking for.
Guy's got an arm like a leg. It's terrible. Sorry.
I mean, what's ridiculous is that he hasn't had a 1,000-yard receiving season since 2014.
Yeah.
And he's asking for top money. It's like, no, dude, produce. Okay, yeah, injuries happen. I'm not faulting him for that. But too many drops. You've been dropping the ball way too much, dude, to be asking for top receiver money. And the same thing with Odell Beckham Jr. He got hurt last year, which there's nothing he could do about that. But leading up to that, and then like the season beforehand with all the behavioral issues, and then in the playoffs the year before that with all the drops and everything, he hasn't earned top receiver money. But these guys are prima donnas, and I think Calvin Ridley is like one of those like classic like blue collar guys that's going to do the work and shut up. He's he reminds me a lot of Amari Cooper, and I think it's because he came from Alabama. I think those guys are really soft spoken.
Yeah,
And
I
they can
think
be.
OBJ is like living off of the legacy of that one-handed catch still.
Yeah.
And
Don't you know who I am?
Yeah.
The thing with wide receivers is that so many of them have like attitudes, right?
Mhm.
I think it's because of how isolated they are from the rest of the offense. Everybody's in tight and they're like way out here doing their own thing, thinking about how great they are.
Right.
As it's coming from a former running back, you're very like, it's like you guys don't get it.
But
Yeah, so I have them taking Calvin Ridley as well, just because they need a solid number 2 guy. I think he could potentially be a number 1 guy as well. So
I agree. He also does not drop the ball very often.
no,
Um,
Des Bryant. Anyway, well, they.
It's
they
my
cha-
job to bad talk the Cowboys.
No, they changed the rules.
Yeah, they did change the
They
catch
changed,
rules.
they changed the rules. So 2014, the Dez catch in
Dez
Lambeau,
caught it.
that was a catch.
Yep.
That does a lot for them now, but
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, isn't it?
I love that they're like, I'm sure all Cowboys fans are like, that's great that
Yeah.
you overturned that now.
I know.
That helps us out a lot now.
I know a lot of people were screaming at the
I-
Super Bowl with
if
Ertz.
that was a catch, then Dez caught it.
Yeah.
I mean, and they corrected it. That's right.
Yeah.
That's a catch.
Isn't
now.
it now? It's possession and then the third step
It's
and
like
like
possession.
Possession. Delicatessen?
It's possession and then 3 steps and then or like a football move.
Right.
So if like
A
a lunge or a
lunge,
reach
yeah.
or whatever, then that's a catch. And then
Yeah.
anything after that's a fumble.
Right.
So the Jesse James catch against the Patriots for the Steelers, that would have been a touchdown.
Mm.
Yep.
But no. Anyway, sorry. We're getting way off that. Okay.
Right.
So 20, the Lions, who do you have them taking?
So with the Lions, this is actually where I have Vita Vea going off the board.
Wow. That's
Um,
really late.
Matt
considering-
Patricia's coming in, defensive mind.
Mm.
Okay. I think he brings something in to bolster that defensive line.
All right, that's fair. I see that. I have them taking James Daniels, the center from Iowa, just because I think they need to retool the offensive line. They have a lot of age on their offensive line, so I think they go center. Kind of do what the Cowboys did, draft a solid center, and like they did with Fredericks, and just kind of build around that. And I think they can retool that offensive line. I think they'll be really good. Who do you have at 21 for the Bengals?
21 for the Bengals. This is actually where I have Orlando Brown coming off.
Wow, that's
They-
very far from where I have him.
I mean, I still do have some questions just from the combine, but
Yeah.
that's the only reason I let him drop this far.
Some guys are better in game than in practice. Some guys aren't practice players.
But I don't think he deserves to drop out of the first round. I think the film shows he's.
I think if you had any guys from Oklahoma who were supposed to go in the first round drop out of the first round, you would have gotten an earful from Matt. He would have been like, "How dare you, sir!"
You wouldn't, because I get those really bad numbers. He did improve at the OU Pro Day a little bit.
Yes, he did.
But there's, guys on NFL.com that have him in like the 3rd round,
Yeah.
and stuff.
Oh.
And I think that's way too low. But I
That's
could see
harsh.
him slipping to the 2nd round because the numbers are real. They don't tell everything. They don't tell as much as I think people think they tell.
No.
But they are real.
Yeah.
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 They are genuine concerns. Yes, but
I think I saw Chad Readers had him in the 4th round in his
Ow.
most
Ow.
recent mock.
What did he do? Sleep with his wife or something? Shit.
I hate him.
Yeah.
I hate Orlando Brown.
like-
He's a demon. I have I have the Bengals taking Will Hernandez, the guard from Texas.
Okay.
Him, yeah. Those two were probably the best. I was gonna say Will Hernandez was the second best player on the Texas team.
No, he went to UTEP, El
U-
Paso.
Oh,
Yeah.
UTEP El Paso. There it is. Yeah, I have that written on the side. I totally missed that. Will Hernandez. Yeah, I think.
Only decent thing they had. They were a winless team.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I think that they, they just. I think the Bengals, they get a player that helped them block in the middle. I think he's probably the best player to come out of that school in like forever. So I think he'll be the first player to be taken in the first round from that school. So if not by the Bengals, I think some team that needs an offensive guard will take him before the first round is over.
Yeah.
Who do you have the Bills taking at 22 with their second first round
So the
pick?
Bills, and it's a little confusing because I didn't go this route the first pick, but I'm going quarterback. Lamar Jackson.
Really?
I think they give McCarron a chance, but I think Jackson fits.
They give McCarron a chance, but they still light a fire under his butt by
Yeah.
taking a
Yeah.
quarterback.
You're just like, you're doing okay. Or are you?
Yeah,
You're
I think-
okay. You're our guy. Or are you?
Yeah.
I think because he hasn't started yet, so I think you can't be all in on a guy who's been a backup for 4 years and not have a backup plan.
Well, they got Peterman.
Yeah, we saw how that worked out.
Well, that was the Bills' reasoning for last year when they drafted him. It's like we have Peterman, so we
Yep.
could just put him in, see how he does.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was garbage fire. Anyway, okay. I have the Bills taking. I think it's Jair Alexander. I think is how you pronounce his name.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Cornerback from Louisville. I think. Putting him
It's Louisville.
Louisville. I'm worried about pronouncing his first name, but I'm pronouncing the school wrong. Of course. I have them taking him just to be the opposite side to Tre'Davious White. He was a surprise coming out of college. I don't think people thought he would be that good.
No.
But I think Jair Alexander, put him on the other side. I think that could be a good 1-2 corner combination, especially for the division with like the Patriots and with the Dolphins retooling and everything like that. So I think that would be good. I think the Bills will be a team to watch for next year. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Who do you got the Rams taking?
So the Rams, I got them going Rashaan Evans, linebacker, Alabama.
I don't even think I have him in my first round.
They lost Ogletree, and
Well, they didn't lose him. They traded him.
well,
Let's be
he's
fair.
not on the team anymore.
They just didn't want him anymore.
And
they
so,
got him out of there.
I think they go with a linebacker at this pick.
Yeah, okay. I have them taking Christian Kirk, the wide
Okay.
receiver from Texas A&M, because they just lost
Oh, that's right. They
Christian
did.
Kirk.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
just
yeah.
lost Sammy Watkins.
Yeah.
So I think putting him with Woods and then Cup, they won't miss a beat.
No.
They'll be back playoff.
Something be
contention
very
next year.
wrong if they.
They'll be back in playoff contention next year.
Yeah.
for sure. So who do you have the Panthers taking at 24, Tom?
Panthers, I have them taking Cortland Sutton, wide receiver, SMU.
Ooh, okay. I see him more going in the second round.
Give
'cause
give
just
Cam Newton some more
a
weapons
big
to throw to.
big body target.
Yeah.
I have them taking Sam Hubbard, the defensive end from Ohio State. I think they just need more bodies on the defensive line just to rotate. I was debating whether or not to give them Darren Payne, but they just signed Dontari Poe, so I don't think they need that defensive tackle spot. I think they need to fill in the other side where Julius Peppers, or have them sit behind Peppers and like learn from him. I feel like that would be a really good learning experience for him. So I think if he fell to them, that would be really good. Who do you have for 25 for the Titans, Tom?
For the Titans, I have them going Harold Landry from Boston College.
Oh,
Okay. They need an edge rusher.
I don't think I have him in the first one either. I don't.
Landry's the best edge guy that's still on my board. So I have them going.
I have them. I feel like they're pretty solid on defense. I have them taking Hayden Hurst, the tight end from South Carolina, only because I think just giving Marcus Mariota one more target to throw to, I think would help him out a lot. Because they have Henry.
We've got Eric Decker.
They do have Eric Decker. Well, I thought he's a free agent now, but anyway,
He is.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
This is like last year.
I think giving him a solid tight end receiver, I think would be good. He's the best tight end in the draft, I think. So, or do you have the Falcons taking?
The Falcons, they're going to go Deron Payne.
Yeah,
From
I
Alabama.
have him there too, just because they lost Ontario Poe. They need to fill in that big hole.
yeah.
Absolutely. I'm glad we agree on that one. Who do you have the Saints taking? This one might be controversial for me anyway.
So the Saints, I have them going, and I might butcher the name, Dallas Goedert, from South Dakota State, the fake SDSU.
Dallas Gogurt.
It'll give Drew
Goddard.
Brees a tight end
Okay.
that is a need of theirs.
Deion Lewis was the Titans running back.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he signed there. That's right. And they also signed Malcolm Butler, a cornerback. But
Yeah.
that's neither here nor there. I have the Saints taking Lamar Jackson. I think him sitting behind Drew Brees is just what he needs. And Drew Brees, if he decides to retire after 2 years, after his 2-year contract, then that'll be good.
Yeah.
Then Lamar Jackson can just step in. In the meantime, Sean Payton knows how to use players out of position well. So I think
Yeah.
he'd be able to use Lamar Jackson early and put him in positions to be successful, whether or not it's him using him in the Wildcat or whatever. I think that would be good. And then while he's there doing all that stuff, he's still learning behind Drew Brees and stuff. So I think that's like the best situation for him. I think if he falls to them, then they take him. No questions asked.
Yeah.
Who do you have the Steelers taking there, Tom?
So the Steelers, I have them going Justin Reed, the safety from Stanford.
That's kind of high, don't you think?
Maybe a little bit. But I think,
And a safety.
Yeah.
safety.
Hmm.
I think they need a little bit of secondary help.
Okay.
And so that's why I have them picking him here.
I respect that. I have them taking Leighton Vander Esch because, unfortunately, Shazier got hurt, and I don't think he'll play next year either. So I think they do need a solid player who, like you said before, is a tackling machine. So I think he fits like their personality, the Steelers, just being a hard-nosed team that likes to tackle and hit people. So I think he'd be a good fit for them there. What do you think about the Jaguars at 29, Tom?
So this one, I've got Connor Williams.
Oh, okay. All right.
Give some O-line help for both Bortles and what's his name? I'm blanking.
LSU guy.
Yeah.
Oh, Fournette.
Yeah, Fournette.
Yeah.
Totally blanked on his name.
Yeah.
I think he does too sometimes. Just saying. It's like
I have the Jaguars taking Mike Gesicki. I think is his name. Is how you pronounce his name?
Gesicki.
Gesicki.
Yep.
He's really good.
He's just Gesicki.
Mike.
Mike Gesicki, tight end from Penn State. I think he the measurables were really good in the combine, but I think behind Hayden Hurst, I think they're tied for number one tight end in the draft. I think either or would have been good, but I think it helps give Bortle another tight end option. What's up?
The official pronunciation is Gesicki.
Gesicki. Thank you, Matt. You are our linguist. Thank you.
Right.
And
I'll
then-
take long names for 400.
Do you know the word for the phobia word for fear of long words?
Isn't it like a ridiculous?
It's like I think maybe the
Hippo-
longest word in the English
Isn't it
dictionary.
like hippopotamus something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a joke. Like, how dare you give people with that phobia like
a long word for your phobia.
to say? That's
Well, that's
so
like
mean.
that's like people with dyslexia. The best way to tell is trying to say dyslexic.
I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic.
Yeah, I'm
I'm dyslexic. Yeah, I know. You see that word? It's ridiculous. Okay, so the Vikings at 30. Who do you got them taking?
I've got Will Hernandez coming off the board here.
Okay.
Fill the O line a little bit, and just give him some help
Yeah.
protecting.
Case. No, not Case. Oh goodness. Oh, Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins. Kirk
That
Cameron.
$86 million investment.
Yeah. Oh,
Ah.
just gotta protect your assets. I have them taking an offensive lineman too. Mike McGlinchey.
The Notre Dame game.
Yeah, the offensive tackle from Notre Dame. Just solidify the offensive line. You know, they had some guy. They have some older guys. The guy retired, I think. So I think solidifying that offensive line, protecting. Yeah, exactly. Your $86 million. I still can't believe they did that. Anyway, all right. My last two picks are going to be very controversial, but you go
Okay.
ahead and whatever. Just tell me 31 and 32. Do you have the Patriots and the Eagles taking? Tell me.
31, I've got him taking Colton Miller
Okay.
to fill the O line. And 32, I have Jair Alexander.
Why? Why though? We don't need him. Oh my God.
Okay, David, you might like mine. So, with the 31st pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Patriots select
A cheerleader.
Sony Michel.
I was close.
Yeah,
Hmm.
pretty.
I was close.
I have them taking Sony Michel, and with the Eagles, the
Be nice to
32nd
me.
overall pick,
Be very nice to me, please.
have them taking Chip Kelly. No, I'm kidding.
Wow. I could see him squeezing into a offensive tackle uniform. And he just goes up and badmouths them on their play style.
No.
Need to
The
run
Eagles,
your route better.
I have them taking Rashad Penny.
Thank you.
Just barely sneaking into that first
Wow.
round.
Thank you.
I know that seems very controversial, but
No, I kind of get it. I kind of get it.
it's like I like it.
I kind of get it.
Yes. My reasoning behind both of those. Let me explain. I think I talked to David about this a little bit, but
Yeah.
my top like 3 running backs in this draft go Barkley, Michelle, Penny, and then everybody else. Like you can rank them however you want afterwards. I don't really care because those are the top 3 guys I think that will be the most successful in the NFL when it's all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
I think Saquon Barkley does everything really, really well. Where Sony Michel, I think, he's a better receiving back, which fits the Patriots system. Like they like to run the 3-back system where like every running back does their own different thing. I think plugging him in with they just signed Jeremy Hill, the Patriots did. So they have Jeremy Hill, I think Sony Michel, and then James White. That's a great 3-back system if you want to run a 3-back system. If you ask me, if I was an offensive coordinator and I had those 3-backs, oh my gosh, happy birthday to me!
Right.
If I found out my team drafted them, then the Eagles. What's up?
My only problem with I respect that you gave me one of your favorite picks, but we already have Ajayi and Clement, and I mean, who are we gonna replace? Smallwood? Like, who? Like, what moves are we supposed to make for that?
Okay, well, you won't have to make any moves because the Eagles ran a very similar system.
Yeah,
They
no,
had
I'm like,
a 3-back
I'd
system
want to
that
see
worked.
him play like first round, and I know for a fact the only move that they would do is if they like somehow get Ajayi out because they're going to hold on to Clement. But I think they're both under contract, so it doesn't matter either way.
Well, no,
Because we just got Ajayi, so we're not going to get rid of him.
First of all, it's pronounced.
It's Ajayi.
It's Ajayi.
Excuse me.
You're
But-
an Eagle fan. Get it right, dude.
I've been saying it.
It's out
like
of
that
Boise
for the-
State.
Anyway,
Right.
But I want to know who you would have the Eagles take.
Okay.
At 37.
We need a safety. Like, in my opinion,
With
I just think we
Justin
need a safety like Trey Matthews or I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we need any running backs or like maybe a linebacker. Who's the guy out of Penn State? Who's that one guy? Or that one hard to pronounce guy on offensive tackle from Michigan?
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about?
I do. I could see his name. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. Chukwuwada something? I don't know.
Chikamama Choo
Let me see. But I don't
But-
think we need more running backs. But
Well,
it's
not.
get
It's not that you need more running backs.
It's just
I think
who would we have?
I think the best I think the best option for you guys is to have another player to fill in that spot that LeGarrette Blount is left, because he went to the Lions.
Yeah.
So I think getting him, because like what I would hate to see is like teams want a player in the first round, but they don't think he's exactly worth taking in the first round because they're not sure. So they take someone else that they don't need, then that ends up not playing that much. Then they plan to get him in the second or third round, and then the player that they want gets taken like a pick before them.
Right.
And then that player goes on and plays with the other team and is like really great, and they missed out because they didn't take him when they had him there.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying.
I've done that in Madden so many times.
You're like, oh, they won't take a running back. Oh no.
I just got the guy's name, Chukwuma Okafor. He's the offensive tackle out of Western Michigan, and he's got, I don't know, he's kind of flying under the radar. I think he could work. I don't know. I think we need more just like added defense. I know we have a really, really nice setup this year with Bennett added to the team, but I don't think we need more like running or wide receiver. We got a lot of those already. So I think like a linebacker, safety, maybe another offensive. I mean, I don't know. The Eagles are already the best team, so what else could you add to it?
Okay, Matt. You guys didn't have a first round pick, but what are you guys' biggest needs?
The Texans,
Well,
right? Yeah.
I wrote off this draft after we signed what's his face, Brock Osweiler, and I just thought, no, this is just not going to happen, and I'm not going to worry about it too much. But I think signing Tyrann Mathieu and Aaron Colvin,
Yes.
I think that makes the defense elite. I think they're good there.
Yeah.
I think what they could do, well, let's see. I think receiver is good. They need a tight end. I think one guy that they could get is Troy Fumagalli from Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Dude's missing an index finger, but I think he's got the best hands of any of the tight ends in the
Catch
draft.
with 9 fingers.
Oh yeah, and he
Dude,
does
did
it
you
great.
See that guy who did it with no hand, no arm?
Did it with one
Shaquem
hand?
Griffin.
Yeah.
That dude.
Who ran faster
awesome.
than most receivers
Yeah.
in the combine this year?
He's
Jeez.
got less weight to swing
Dude
around.
put up, I think, 21 reps
Come on, man.
on bench. That one, yeah, he's good. Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, I think
I hope he gets
Fumagalli.
drafted high. Probably not in the first round, but I hope he goes at least second round because
I think he will.
Yeah.
But I'm totally hoping for Fumagalli, whatever. The Italian sounding name from Wisconsin.
Fumagalli.
Yeah.
Fumagalli. Oh Magali.
Oh my golly. Okay, so moving into our last segment of this NFL special episode, whatever you want to call it, we're gonna go through each division. We're gonna pick a division winner out of the divisions.
Why even ask me? Why even?
Well,
No,
I'm looking at you. I'm trying to look at everybody.
Right.
We're gonna pick a division winner out of all the divisions, and then we're gonna make Super Bowl predictions.
Eagles take it again.
Okay, well we don't have to ask David because we know where his heart lies. So let's start. Let's start in the AFC, and we'll go AFC. We'll go AFC South. Who wins that division? I think I know where Matt's gonna go. But
Well, I think it's toss up. I think it's
Yeah?
it's Jags or Texans.
I think so too. I think if Deshaun Watson's healthy for the
Yeah.
whole season, I think Jacksonville
Yeah.
and Tennessee. I think Jacksonville and Houston are going to really compete for that number
Right.
one spot.
Yeah, because
Do
you
you
got to
think-
make sure that Watson and Watt are healthy. Those are the two guys,
Yeah,
right?
and those two guys got hurt last year, and then your season kind of fell apart after
Yep.
that. So I think you'll be competing for one of those two. How many teams out of that division do you think make the playoffs?
I think two.
Think two?
I don't
Okay.
think the Titans are going to be quite good enough to
Okay,
get
that
there.
leaves 4 spots for the rest of the AFC, so we shall see. All right, let's go AFC
West.
West. Let's say Tom. Who do you think wins the AFC West?
Oh, the AFC West.
Yeah.
Browns. No.
You don't know anything.
Yeah.
I've got the Raiders.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
I think they win, and I think the Chiefs get the second wild card spot. But
Wow. So you think it's Raiders and Chiefs coming out of the AFC West?
Mhm.
Wow.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, possibly. Okay. What do you think about
be-
What do you think about the AFC North there, David?
I
Who
don't
Who do you
know.
think wins that division?
I think the Ravens have a chance, but Flacco hasn't been pulling his weight lately, so I think Bengals or Steelers. Usually it's them.
Yeah, I would go. I
You
think
know.
that's the Steelers' division to lose at this point because
Yeah.
they've proven to be the best team. I mean, to be fair, I'm gonna root for the Browns, and I
Hey,
hope-
everyone roots for the Browns because it's like
it's like a
it's
sad
like
it's like a
watching-
sad puppy. You
it's
really
like
want it
watching
to be
Rudy.
okay.
Yeah.
I say my bold prediction that the last game of the season is going to decide whether the Browns or the Steelers make the playoffs. The Browns or the Steelers will be on the cusp of a playoff berth, and it's like, and if the game comes down to like Browns and Steelers like I did last year, whoever wins that game makes playoffs.
Okay.
That I'm making that bold prediction.
It'd be
right
nice to see not the Steelers.
It would be
but-
nice. No, that's what I mean. It'd be refreshing.
Yeah.
And then AFC East. I mean, I don't want to give it to the Patriots again, but I
Come
mean,
on,
I-
everyone
it's-
knows it.
Who else? Who else are you gonna give it
It's
to?
the
It's-
division. It's their division to win, I guess, and the Patriots make playoffs. So I think the AFC playoffs will be like Texans, Jaguars, probably. Then we'll have like
I mean, the-
Chiefs, then Chiefs, Raiders, Browns, Patriots. I think that's the 6 teams in the playoffs. I think. I'm making that bold prediction. Browns sneak in, and they are not a wild card.
Wow.
Browns aren't a wild card team. They are a division winning team. I think. I think they break even with the Steelers in like division wins, and like they each get one apiece. Like the Browns win at home, and the Steelers win at home.
You're saying this 42 losses, 1 win. You're
I
saying they're gonna
the thing is
go-
though, I think man, they shouldn't have brought back Hugh Jackson. That I think is going to be the deciding factor, whether or not coaching gets better, because they have the players.
Yeah.
They do. They just have to utilize the team they got. With that being said,
You know, it'd be funny
what?
watching the Patriots lose to Dolphins. That'd be fantastic.
I would love to see them lose to the Bills. That would be the
Anyone but the Jets, honestly.
Yeah.
the Jets. I don't think are
Jets
gonna,
and Patriots, yeah.
They're not-
I would love a Bills Dolphins.
Ooh,
I would
yes.
love a Bills Dolphins.
I would love that,
I haven't
actually.
seen that in a long time.
Yeah, I would love that actually.
Which was
Okay, so flipping over to the NFC.
the Nerf.
The
NFC
Nerf.
NFC
Okay,
Nerf.
so David, who do you have
I think
honestly winning the NFC East?
winning the NFC East.
Honestly, who do you think you see winning the NFC East and like making the playoffs from there?
Bears. No.
That's not even. Wait a
I
minute.
know,
I know,
right?
like everyone who's like a real fan is looking and
What?
they're like, wait a minute.
I know, right? Not Vikings, probably. Vikings.
I said East.
Oh, I thought we were starting with the North. I said the North.
Yeah, okay. Well, I said East.
Okay.
That's why I said honestly. You
don't know.
decide. I asked you that because I know you're an Eagles fan, so you'll probably be biased out of the gate. But
It's gonna be Eagles, man.
it's gonna be Eagles. Do you see anyone
it'll
else
be-
making playoffs from that division? You think the Redskins gonna sneak their way with Alex Smith?
They might have an issue. We might have an issue with that. I think so.
That might be a problem.
We might have an issue with that. I gotta say Eagles. Look
Okay.
at the setup they have. Like, come on.
No, that's fair. No, that's fair.
Wentz was like the dynamo, and then he got injured in the Rams game, and then the goat carried us.
The goat carried us.
The goat carried us.
All right, Tom.
And,
You got NFC North,
Okay.
not
Then
you, Dave.
see how it is.
The North.
Who you see winning the North?
I think the Vikings do.
Yeah.
I think with the quarterback, I think it just. I mean, they won last year, and adding the missing piece, I think.
Adding an actual because the Case Keenum was like a C+ quarterback with a good cast around him. You know, with Kirk being like a B quarterback with.
Yeah, he's not the best, but he'll do. He'll get the job done.
Yeah.
That's the slogan for the season. I mean, it's not the best, but what are you gonna do?
Right.
All right, Matt. Who do you see winning the NFC South?
I'm going Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a safe pick.
Yeah.
Always either Saints or
I
Panthers.
feel like the NFC South is always like in flux. Like
Yeah.
it's either it's like
Yeah, it's never the same. I
No.
mean, you got Falcons, Saints, and Panthers. They all went to. I mean,
Right. Yeah, they were all
they
double digit
they
wins
were
last
all
season.
all in the Super Bowl in like the last
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah.
So
Right. Yeah, it's
well, like
It's
in the last 10 years they were. Yeah.
yeah.
it's a tough division. I think.
Oh, even the
I
Bucks
think
too.
the Saints
In
win it.
2002, the Bucks were in the Super Bowl too.
Yep.
So all 4 of those teams were in the Super Bowl the last 10 years. So
Yeah, I think Saints win it. I also think that the Panthers might get the wild card.
yeah.
Mm.
You don't think the Falcons will make a wild card?
Well,
think-
they might. I just don't know if three from the same division is going to happen.
I think
Again.
the Panthers going to take the season, and the Saints are going to be the wild cards. What I think. I don't think. From what I've seen this
Yeah.
last season, I don't know if they've got their stuff together.
Mm.
But Falcons.
I mean,
know
that's.
for
I
a
mean, it's
fact.
hard to recover from that.
Yeah.
From that division loss to the
Yeah.
Vikings. Just that hard whiff.
Yeah.
from Williams. That was terrible.
It's so sad.
I know Tom's just covering his face. Like,
Whiff heard around the world.
Yeah.
I know the. I know.
No.
it just the.
Still. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Couldn't
that was
beat Tom
terrible.
Brady.
So NFC West, man, that's a toss up, dude. Because I mean, the Seahawks fell apart defensive wise. They fell apart. It depends on how they do in the draft and the rest of this offseason, how they do.
Yeah.
But I think
Rams.
now
It's got to be the Rams. Come on.
it's gonna be what's gonna happen is the Rams are gonna take the division, and then 49ers grabbing a wild card spot.
I completely agree.
Either that,
Really?
either that, or have it the other way where like the 49ers win the division, and the Rams like take like the 3rd seed, and then the Saints have the number 2 seed or something like that,
Mm.
and then the Vikings have the 3rd or the 4th seed, depending, and then like the Panthers or the Redskins. I think Panthers and Redskins take wild card spots, and I think that's your 6 in the NFC playoff bracket. I think. Because I mean, Garoppolo. I mean, just from what I've seen, I think he can be a consistent quarterback for the 49ers, which they haven't had in a really long time. So I think having him there, I think will be a good fit for them. And I think if they build on their defense, I think they can go back to like a defensive winning attitude,
Right.
where they have a guy who can take care of the ball, doesn't turn it over, run the rock, and then play good defense.
Yeah.
So I think the 49ers have a legitimate chance to steal this division out from the Rams' noses if they're not careful.
I don't know. From what we saw with the Rams with this season, I don't know. I feel like they're
They have a very high octane offense, but I
Yeah.
feel like the 49ers they've done a little bit to combat it a little bit with signing Richard Sherman and stuff like that. So I think
Yeah.
that they have a good chance to kind of win the division by 1 or 2 games, possibly. I think they could beat the Seahawks. I think they can sweep the Seahawks. The
Seahawks.
49ers.
I don't know what happened to the Seahawks.
I mean, because Russell Wilson can't do it by himself forever.
No.
Like he can't.
Yeah.
So I feel like if the Seahawks go back to the Russell Wilson running around doing everything for them, they'll be in the same spot last year and missing the playoffs.
Yep.
And I think 49ers will take that spot, I think. So, okay, so guys, we'll do before the Super Bowl prediction, we'll do AFC Championship prediction and then NFC Championship prediction, and then we'll go Super Bowl prediction. Okay, so guys, real quick, round the table. NFC Championship. Which 2 teams?
Oh, I gotta do Rams and gosh, I don't know. Rams and I don't know.
Rams and who? Rams and Eagles?
Yeah.
Are you trying not to be biased?
I'm
Is that
trying
what
not
it
to
is?
be.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be realistic.
That's
but
fair. That's fair. I appreciate.
I'll
that.
say Rams and Redskins.
Wow.
Because I don't, I high praise the Eagles a lot. They do have a really good setup this year, but I don't know, something about, I don't know. I feel like something's gonna happen. I don't know, but I'll say Rams and Redskins.
The goat's gonna suck.
2 years.
No.
It's like no. How dare you?
That's never an occurrence.
2
But
years in a row is really tough unless you're the Patriots.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's
The
I think
NFC is always like in flux. So that you never see the same teams in the playoffs every single year.
yeah.
Whereas the AFC, you see like the same 4 teams in the playoffs every single year, and it's
Yeah.
annoying. Okay, so NFC Championship, Tom. Who is it?
I've got the Saints over the Eagles.
That'd
so
be a fun
you say
game to
Saints
play.
going back to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think
like
so.
it. I like it. Matt.
I'm gonna flip flop Tom. I think it's gonna be the Eagles over the Saints
Ooh.
in that game.
Okay.
You're my best friend.
I think wholeheartedly that the NFC Championship will be
Eagles and Chargers. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you say these things? Why do you do this?
Chargers get bought by another team, rebranded.
They're the Los Angeles Chokers now.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I wholeheartedly believe that it will be the Eagles
And 49ers?
over the 49ers. Yeah.
Wow.
Eagles
Ah.
over the 49ers. The
like
49ers
it.
will put up a
Feel-
good fight, and it will be a close game, but the Eagles will...
I feel so appreciated.
See,
Feel so-
I have that in.
I don't
guess
like
it'd
you.
Be in my NFC semifinals.
Yeah.
I have the Eagles over the 49ers and then the Saints over the Vikings.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, okay, quick. AFC Championship. Matt, who is in the AFC Championship for you?
Well, the bias is strong.
The bias is strong with
Yeah.
this
I'm
one.
gonna go with
Yeah.
Patriots over the Texans.
Mm.
Okay.
I think the Texans, they're gonna stay healthy by God's grace and make it to the AFC Championship game, and then they just won't have enough because Deshaun Watson's in his second year as quarterback.
You're being realistic. I appreciate it. That's all right. All right, Tom. AFC Championship. Who do you got?
So I am actually flip-flopping him on this one too.
Texans
Texans
over
over
Patriots.
Patriots. We're gonna see the Texans and the Saints.
Texans and the Saints. Wow, that's interesting. What about you, David?
I want to see the Jaguars beat the damn Patriots.
I do
There
too.
you go.
I
do
want the
too. That would be
fairest
sweet.
game because that I can't sleep at night after that game. I was like, you had it. What was wrong with you?
Well, the Patriots paid the refs more.
I know. I wanted to see that. I want sweet revenge. The Eagles got sweet revenge after 2005. We beat them in the Super Bowl. I want to see the Jaguars.
You don't want the Jags to wait that long?
No. I want. In all honesty, I'd love a Super Bowl Eagles Jags. That'd be awesome.
Oh,
in my opinion.
I wanted to see
Underdog Central.
I wanted to see Vikings Jags last year.
That was
would've been
cool
awesome.
too.
Awesome.
Home game for Vikings.
I
That'd be
know!
awesome.
That would have been amazing. But we didn't get that.
Yeah, I
That's so
wonder
sad.
why. If only a certain team didn't cream them.
Yeah, and then you douchebags did the skull thing.
Yeah, I know.
In
I
front
know.
of them. That was so.
And that poor old
mean.
lady, I forgot her name, but we were saying like F her on her way into the stadium. I was like, I don't represent this.
It's like,
but
that's
it's-
not me.
It's not
What?
me.
That is my team.
I
though.
understand that, but
Oh gosh.
that's what I think. I think Jags have a setup. They can get there. They can beat the Patriots.
Yeah. My AFC Championship, I think.
Don't you dare.
Oh no! No, don't do it.
Bears,
Evan.
Bears Browns.
Think.
Bears aren't even in the AFC.
Think before you speak.
I'm gonna keep using this joke.
I say.
He's gonna do it.
He's gonna say
I'm gonna say Patriots.
Titans.
I wanted to see that. That would have been cool, but no. Patriots. Browns.
Oh.
Patriots. Browns.
Wow.
Someone needs to test the water this man is drinking.
And we will see.
Come on, man.
Browns from
The-
0-16 to
We will see the Eagles versus the Browns in the Super Bowl next year.
Come on, man.
All right,
Drop
so
the
it's officially recorded.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
The stupidest statement I've ever heard in history. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
No, that is. I'm
You
sorry.
thought my Bears joke was obscene, but no,
Oh,
the Browns go to the Super Bowl.
16
Mhm.
to the Super
Well,
Bowl.
they're not going to be like undefeated or anything. They're going to go like 10-6.
Evan. Evan,
It's a scrape. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
drive out to Vegas tomorrow. Put money on this. All you gotta do is put like $10 down, and you'll be set.
Man.
I'm like.
But why, though?
This might be because I'm a huge Tyrod Taylor fan, and I really want
Might?
him to succeed.
Might?
It's like, dude, I can see your
Yeah.
boner from here.
Right. It's like you're wearing his outfit. It's signed too, and it looks like forced.
Like you're sponsored by him.
Yeah. You have
no.
contacts that have his name in the on the iris. It's just like, what is?
See, the thing is, David, I have hope. But it's,
Yeah.
oh man, I have faith in Tyrod. I think he could do it. He got the Bills. He got the Bills to the playoffs. He broke their drought. I think that Tyrod could really be the guy to as long as the Browns don't take a quarterback in the first round of the this
Do you
draft.
hear the words coming out of your mouth? It will be
Yeah.
true.
They're going to take quarterback.
No.
They're gonna take 2 quarterbacks.
Oh. They take.
All of their picks are quarterbacks.
They can't miss now if they take all of them.
They're gonna get rid of their outside tackles. Just have 3 quarterbacks. They're gonna do some wacky reverse play every single play of the game. It's just
Oh
like
my
pass it to
gosh.
him, pass it to him. Lateral touchdown. 13-6.
You guys laugh, but I think the Browns have the ability to really contend this year in the season, and
Yeah.
I think if they make playoffs, look out. I think they can make a run. And I think the Patriots will underestimate them. They'll think, whatever, and then they'll
Like
have
the Eagles.
and then they'll it's the Eagles. Okay, so Super Bowl prediction. Okay, I was gonna say for me, I think the Eagles will still win the Super Bowl if the Browns make it, but it'll be close. It'll be close.
Now see if I leave the room.
So Eagles repeat.
Eagles repeat.
I think Eagles repeat because I don't think anyone in the NFC, kind of like what David was
Look at
saying,
our
it's
setup.
isn't as well built as the Eagles are right now. They're built to
Look
win.
at our setup, man.
We set
Do you
for one.
see this lineup we've got?
Yeah, I see it, and that's why I think you guys. You
Ah.
guys have a good chance to repeat. I think you guys do.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
but good golly gee, you guys really rode me on that one.
now who is the league bottoms?
Oh, league bottoms.
Let's just say let's go. for
Okay,
it.
who has the first round pick next year?
Who has the first round pick next year?
Who gets the first round pick next year? Who has the worst record after
I'll
the
say,
se- after
I'll
the
say the
season?
Number one
Bears.
pick.
Who has the number 1 overall pick
Bears.
in 2019? The Bears, really?
I'm gonna say the Bears.
Wow.
I think they're gonna blow this whole year. They're gonna pull a Browns. I hate to say, your Browns are gonna if you're hoping the Browns go to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna say the Bears are gonna be the Browns status this year.
I think
Browns or Dolphins. That's what I'm saying.
I think the Bucks will go 0-16.
Wow.
I don't think they'll win a single
Winless.
game.
Wow.
I don't think they'll win a single
Really?
game. I didn't like Jameis Winston when he was coming out of college. I
Neither
really
did
I
I.
still don't like him.
Nah.
I don't think he's the guy for them.
But I don't know.
But if not 0-16, they'll go 3-13 or something.
yeah. Well,
They're not going to win much.
I'm saying the Jets screwed up again.
that's the sky being blue at this point. I mean,
Water's wet.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I've got. I've got the Jets being the worst team.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the Bucks will be the worst team next year. I think they'll have the number 1 overall pick in 2019.
Mine's is gonna be Bears or Dolphins. I don't know. I don't think that either of those have anything going for them
Yeah.
at this point.
I think the Bucks have just been going in circles. I mean, they've kind of been decreasing slowly but surely. They had a moment when they drafted Winston where it was kind of going up like this, and then it started to go back down. And I think 2018 will be the year where it just goes.
Just rock bottom.
See, they drafted Winston and started going up. Then they drafted the kicker.
That was in the same year, wasn't
Then it just went down.
Yeah.
That was in the same draft. The very next round, they took him.
The only reason I'm not saying the Chargers is because they actually have an offense, as opposed to the other teams.
Speaking
on
of
our...
the Chargers and crappy second round kickers, you guys know they signed him, right?
No.
The Chargers signed Roberto Aguayo
No.
Why?
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Why though?
Why?
because apparently 60% field goal percentage is better than 0%.
To be fair, he was right.
It was they just got someone who can kick.
As far as I know, Nick Novak is still alive, who would be better than
either
either Young Hoku or
Oh gosh,
Roberto
that
Aguayo.
experiment was terrible. Yeah. So
Lord.
that's my prediction. I think. That's good. You guys can hate on me all you want.
MVP of 2019.
Ooh,
What is the MVP?
2018. 2018 MVP.
Wait,
Ooh.
this season stretches into 19, right? So it will be technically 2019 MVP.
Well, it's the 2018 season. It starts in 2018, so that's why.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so 2018 MVP. Ooh, good question. Oh.
I'm gonna say Zach Ertz. No, I'm kidding. I'm being completely
I was gonna
biased.
say, are you freaking kidding me?
Hey, he was.
Yeah, he was good,
was
but not
good.
MVP good.
Okay, I'm gonna say
What about the guy throwing him the ball? Because he was an MVP candidate before he got
no.
hurt.
Yeah. No, they're. I mean, Wentz was and still he carried the team up until that game, Rams. I'm gonna say
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield.
Please.
Oh
I do have a-
God.
I'm sorry. I don't like.
I do have a-
if he gets
Mayfield.
drafted by a team who has a quarterback, he's not gonna play.
No,
for
you're
the
right.
first
He's
2
not.
years.
I do have a pro Baker Mayfield rant though.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Well, we can get to that.
I think
do
my
that
M-
sometimes if you want me to.
I think my MVP. I think it's gotta be. I don't want to pick the Eagles because it's just consistent and biased.
An Eagle player.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's say hypothetically we have a Jaguars Eagles Super Bowl.
Right.
That won't happen, but
Hypothetically speaking. of course.
hypothetically speaking.
Yeah. No.
In the hypothetical game where the Eagles were facing and the Eagles would
We're
hypothetically
not talking about
lose.
Super Bowl MVP. We're talking about
Overall
the
MVP?
season MVP.
Oh, well then it's got to be Wentz.
Gotta be Wentz.
It's got to be Wentz.
All right.
But if Super Bowl MVP,
Super Bowl MVP. We're not talking about that.
okay. Well then
I was
overall
gonna
it's got to
say,
be Wentz.
It's friend 2018 season MVP for me. I want it to be a running back because I don't feel like a running back has won it enough.
League's moving away. Well,
I
they've already
think-
moved
okay.
away from like single back.
All right, I'm
offenses.
gonna stay on the wagon.
Downs.
I think that
Don't you dare.
running back from the Cleveland Browns, Saquon Barkley, wins the MVP.
Of course it is.
I knew it.
and rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year, all that stuff. He
Defensive player of the year.
He plays all the positions.
Yeah.
he's the best player.
Special teams.
Maybe Jabril Peppers will get that for the Browns.
No, Bradley Chubb wins defensive player of the year from the from the Browns. Well, no, okay, so I think
Okay.
I think Saquon Barkley could run for
You're
for-
even having trouble saying it.
Well,
How
no,
can you
I'm-
believe it?
I'm worried about saying it because I'm worried about what you guys will think. Because
You already know what we
I've
think.
been getting really,
Judgment.
I've been getting really. I've been
The
getting,
truth? No.
I've been getting really negative responses so far for my thoughts. I really think that Saquon Barkley, if the Browns take him, if they should, if they don't get him,
A
they're
draft
stupid.
for the league MVP. That'd be impressive.
Yeah.
That'd be a career great start. I mean,
Yeah,
damn.
I think that he has the potential to, in his first year, rush for 2,000 yards, at least close to it.
Wow.
I think he could. I think he could, at least for 1,000 yards in like.
Does he have is he using a hoverboard or
Yeah.
what is this?
Is he gonna stay healthy?
Yeah.
I think he can.
Well, the thing is, I don't think the production will be quite there in year one. I think you're going to see incredible flashes where you're going to be like, whoa, what the crap? But in his senior season at Penn State, the production was up and down even then. So I don't think he's going to burst out of the gates with 2,000 yards. But 2,000 yards at some point, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
I
I think he'll be the league leading rusher. I think he will.
Really?
I think he could be in his first year. The last 2 years, rookies have been league leading rushers.
Yeah.
So I don't see the reason why the trend should break. We have a great running back coming out of the draft. So
Yeah. For my MVP, I've got Deshaun Watson.
ooh, okay.
I got the Texans beating the Saints in the Super Bowl, so he's gonna have a good year and bring another championship to Houston.
How many touchdown catches does Watt have?
I'm gonna go. Let's go 5.
He gets five during the season. All right. All right.
Shoot, if he gets 5 touchdown catches, he's going to be MVP. Hands
Dude,
down.
yeah, J.J. Watt needs to win MVP. He got snubbed that one.
He
year.
did, yeah.
go for co-MVP between both of them.
That would be an amazing Texans sweep co-MVPs. I really also think that Deshaun Watson's got a great chance, and I feel a little justified in saying that because a non-Texans fan has said it already.
So now you don't feel like it's bias.
Yeah, it is definitely biased. I acknowledge fully my biases.
Yeah.
But I do think that he's got the potential because they're also retooling the entire offense around him this
That's true.
offseason. So I think that he really does have a chance to win MVP.
Man, I think we touched on a lot today. I think
Oh,
we've
a lot.
definitely we've ragged on me enough.
I think what we've learned today
we do
is
love you.
the Eagles will win the next 3 Super Bowls, and
I don't
we'll be
agree with that.
fine.
I don't think I think they have a chance to repeat, but 3 in a row, I don't
Hey.
know about that one. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Wow.
we've been going for a while.
Oh, man.
Editing this will be fun.
Oh yeah,
no,
might want to do 2 parts.
We could. Yeah. This has been fun, guys.
Yeah.
And thank you guys. Thank you, Matt and Tom, for coming on. I really
Yeah.
appreciate you guys coming on and just sharing your thoughts
Thanks for having me.
and just talking sports and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys again for listening, and
Yeah.
we will catch you guys next time on Nerdin' Out. Bye-bye.
Later.
So, I mean, you guys all know that I'm heavily biased because I went to OU, but that's not the only reason that I think that he's my guy in this year's draft class. He is short, right? He's 6 feet tall, even. Colin Cowherd keeps saying he's 5'11". He's not. But from a production standpoint, he's separated himself from everybody else in this draft class, and it's not even close. In 2016, he broke the NCAA single-season record for pass efficiency. Do you guys know whose record he broke?
No.
Russell Wilson.
Mm.
Yeah. And then this past season, he broke his own record in pass
Wow.
efficiency. According to Pro Football Focus, this past season he posted the highest passer rating among the draft class in almost every single category. He had the highest passer rating under pressure, the highest passer rating from a clean pocket, highest on play action throws, highest on straight dropbacks, highest on NFL level throws, highest on intermediate range throws, highest percentage of catchable balls thrown, highest in Pro Football Focus's new metric of ball location, which is, high level precision of where the ball is, and I could keep going. But get this. This is what did it for me. His passer rating under pressure was better than Rosen's, Darnold's, or Allen's from a clean pocket. So his passer rating when he was running for his life is better than their passer rating when they had ideal conditions. And so he's done everything
Wow.
that he could possibly do to show that he's the best, at least at the collegiate level. So you can say, well, he played against Big 12 defenses. That's the one big argument, right? And I don't deny that. The defenses are trash. But I also say go ask Ohio State's defense how they think about it. Go ask Denzel Ward. Go ask Sam Hubbard. Go ask Auburn how they felt about it when he beat them in the Sugar Bowl the previous year. Or Georgia, who OU scored 48 points on, which should be enough to win you a football game, but OU's defense is trash. TCU, they played in the Big 12, but they did have one of the best defenses in the country this past year. And so OU played them twice. In the first meeting, OU scored 38 points on them in the first half. And then in the rematch, they scored 41 in that game. So Baker did just what you would expect an elite prospect to do against bad competition, right? So what's Josh Allen's excuse for not being able to hit the broadside of the barn? He plays in the Mountain West, which has a couple good defenses, SDSU, Boise State. But, UNLV, New Mexico, Nevada, come on, right?
Yeah.
So now the one knock on him is his height, right? He's not prototypical, but what's the reason you want height? You want to see over the O-line, right? You want to avoid having balls batted down at the line of scrimmage. But Baker had fewer balls batted down than either Darnold or Rosen this past year. Both guys with prototypical size. So he can find that throwing lane. Not a super big deal for him. The Pro Football Focus guys, Steve Palazzolo and Sam Monson, who's got a wonderful Irish accent. I love it. It's great. But they all said that if he were 6'3", he'd be everybody's number one. Like, hands down. It's just those 3 inches that he doesn't have. But the NFL is enamored with height. And I think we really need to be wary of doubting Baker Mayfield because he's disproven doubters at every level. At Lake Travis High School in Austin, by the way, take that, Texas. We got a guy from your backyard and beat you. He began his junior season on the bench. But the guy in front of him got hurt, and Baker destroyed the competition and led his team to a state title. He threw 67 touchdowns and 8 picks in his high school career. But his best offer coming out of high school was Washington State. And so he thought he could do better. So he walked on at Texas Tech and became the starter as a true freshman walk-on. which is the first time that has ever happened in a Power 5 conference. So after the 2013 season, he transferred to OU, which was his dream school. And you have to remember that OU wasn't looking for a quarterback at the time. Trevor Knight had just destroyed Alabama in the Sugar Bowl through 4 touchdowns, 350 yards. Now, the Sooners felt like they were set. And so what did Baker do? He walked on, and he took the job from Trevor Knight. He started the 2015 season. And so in 3 years, he led OU to 2 playoff appearances, won 3 Big 12 titles, set the Big 12 career touchdown record, and became the first walk-on to ever win a Heisman Trophy. So to anybody who doesn't like him, and I'm looking at you, Colin Cowherd, I hope that somehow you find a way to listen to this. I don't know how you do that, but I hope you do. But I'm looking for you to give me a legitimate reason based on evidence and not just your gut feeling. Give me a legitimate reason to doubt him, and I don't think you can.
Wow.
So you like him a lot, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
little bit.
I guess so.